This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy, because honestly, being a human can be exhausting. Visit betterhelp.com/allies. Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'll be your moderator, Brandon Jones, and joining me this week, panelists Brad Ellis.
Hi.
Michael Huber.
Yo.
My leather-bound co-moderator, Daniel Bledworth.
Okay.
And making it all happen in our control room, Isla Hank.
Hi.
No leather today. Got a war shirt, though. Pretty metal.
Yeah, I look like a stagehand. I got black pants on, too.
You get... Distinguished guests, we are here to discuss some of the biggest headlines in the world of video games. But before we do that, we have to answer for all of the mistakes that we made last week. Isla Hank, please begin corrections music. Please.
I was like, wait, what? Boop.
Allow myself to introduce myself. Mina the Hollower is a Game Boy Color style game, not a Game Boy Advance style. We probably said Advance like once.
And since then, Brad's played it, so go watch that
They
preview.
even used GBC limitations, like only 4 colors per time. We stopped on it. The game we played last week said Michael Keaton was in Black Ops 2, and we were like, I think it was Michael Rooker. It was Michael
Michael
Rooker.
Keaton? That's crazy.
The person who submitted
right.
the person who submitted the game was like, no, of course.
Like Michael Keaton.
Tyler Ness wants to remind us that Mario Kart 8 also did 8.5 million on the Wii U. So the two versions have over 50 million sales combined on an install base of 120 million. It has also never been on sale. $50. So, just never. Why put it on sale? The leaked Twisted Metal game was supposedly originally developed by Lucid Games for Destruction of All Stars. Now, reportedly, is being moved to Firesprite, which was recently acquired. They got a small team. They're going to finish it. It apparently is live service like I wanted and free to play, which I think will be smart. I think that's about as much of the zeitgeist as Twisted Metal in 2022 can garner.
Sorry, never mind.
Bungie's next IP was being published by NetEase, who had previously paid $100 million to be a minority owner and on Bungie's board of directors. We don't know how the PlayStation deal will affect that, but that was what was going on before. And Oh Death was the intro song in Dark Pictures anthology Until Dawn.
Oh, wow.
Until Dawn was not Dark Pictures.
Yeah.
Anthology,
Until Dawn is not Dark Pictures, but that's cool.
So did they make it after?
No,
Dark
Until Dawn was the
Pictures.
first one
That was when they were still with Sony.
that we did at GT.
Right, but that was a Dark Pictures anthology game. Until
Nope.
Dawn was not.
It's
Dark Pictures Anthology
made
is
by
a
the
new
same
thing after that.
people. Then
So they made Until
started
Dawn,
Dark-
and they were like, let's do this again, and then they did. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's maybe a nod to their old thing, Until Dawn.
Very
End
cool.
corrections music, please.
Ah, boop.
Tight.
We have to solve a video game murder. Lanky Kong has been killed. We believe he was killed with a blitzball. We put Sebastian Castellanos in the case. He went to work and got us that murder weapon, and we know that the body was discovered in the church in the slums of Sector 5 of Midgar. Sebastian Castellanos is asking us and our patrons and our community to help solve this horrible crime. What we don't know is where he's actually murdered. We know where the body was found, but we don't know
Right.
where the murder took
Yeah.
place. We have a photograph of that was found on Lanky Kong. I've showed that to these panelists. I will not show that to our viewers because this is a horrible scene. It's a horrible crime. All of this will come out. But we need to know which of the 4 locations that you were looking at in this photo.
Yeah.
If you could help me, Sebastian and I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Was that Camarocho, Rapture, Shadow Moses Island, or Rainbow Road?
I mean, it's very. I see a lot of colors. It could be Rainbow Road.
It could be. It's a deadly track.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are in Rapture. Very
Yeah, I was
colorful.
gonna
very
say, it
colorful.
Yeah.
could be Rapture, too. It's hard to
Camarocho
say.
also, a lot of neon
Yeah, a
lights.
lot
Lots
of
of neon
lights. A
lights.
lot of lights.
But I think that fall damage, right? So, like, you get hit by the blitzball, you get knocked off of those
Yep.
sidelines.
Yep.
And then you
Yeah.
just drop.
Just
Down
drop
into the
it
church
down
like
into
cloud.
the slums.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah,
what
yeah.
that is that what
Yes.
down there?
We solved
Is
the
Midgard
Yeah.
the whole time?
We solved the case.
You come crashing through the plate?
Well, I think we still need to figure out who the murderer is.
It's true. Well,
Whoever was throwing blitz balls on
Yeah.
the track.
Who throws a blitz ball?
we will
Yeah.
see.
Titus, number 1.
Had a whole
lot of blitz
number
balls,
1.
yeah.
Number 2, number 1.
Yeah.
Titus and Waka.
Will this bit ever have an ending? Stay tuned. Will Nintendo do a Direct in 2022? Yes, they will. 2 weeks ago, we talked about Xbox. Last week, we started with Sony. Feels right. Here we are, a week later. I was not there. I was not in attendance for our reactions, which you can go watch. We didn't do a breaking news because we were there live while it happened. I have broken up all of this stuff into 3 different categories: announcements, ports, and updates. Because the announcements are a big deal, and I think that's the stuff that we should be getting to.
Yeah. I heard somebody describe this as a Nintendo Direct for old people.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's funny. I'm like, well, yeah.
I've never seen what some consider a poorly conceived direct make so many people happy. You know, like I saw a lot of anger as does tend to happen after a direct, and then went to the headlines. It was like, oh my goodness, a Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition. We thought this was going to happen. This seemed too good to be true. Chrono Cross is one of those games that just obviously is always in the shadow of Chrono Trigger. So it's like, will it get
Live
due
Alive
someday?
just happening is just bizarre. It's
Live
craziness.
Alive?
Yeah.
Live Alive.
HD
Alive.
2D remake. What do you want to start with from those? What are you gonna be playing first?
I mean, Chrono Cross is interesting because I probably wouldn't play through that again right now. Like I played it just a few years ago for a piece I did, and even then I had my save file. I was fast forwarding everything. But I'd be curious to play through Radical Dreamers. So I don't know. If somebody
Looked
got
cool.
a physical
Same.
copy or something, maybe I'll
I love that stuff.
pop it in. Because that thing, for people that don't know, that was on the Satellaview, which was basically it was weekly DLC kind of a thing. I don't know how really to describe it. It was for the Super NES, and you got a satellite broadcast. And the cartridge could only fit so much on it. So most Satellaview games have is just the stuff that people have is just that's stuff that they didn't get deleted because you'd regularly would have to overwrite to get the next
trip.
whatever thing that's a piece of content. And so there's all these F-Zero Super NES tracks that they were only there for a week or an event or whatever. And the broadcast even included commentary from celebrities and stuff like that.
Whoa. I didn't know that.
And but Radical Dreamers, so after Chrono Trigger, Radical Dreamers came out on the Satellaview, and it's this text adventure game that sort of bridges the gap between Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
Crazy.
It's a blurry gap.
It's a blurry gap, yeah, because it's
Loose.
I'd have to play through it to understand
play through
how much of this is sort of prequel and how much of this is sort of reused in Chrono Cross. I don't know,
But yeah. Cool. Yeah, that was sick, actually. I was surprised they included that, honestly. That was more than I expected.
But then Live Alive is this sort of obscure but famous RPG that only came out in Japan, and I think some people could say you could compare it to Octopath Traveler, because there's seven separate storylines that you can
cool.
play in any order, and one's Wild West, one's
One's
they're just one's
near
in the
future,
future,
yeah.
they're all over the place.
Prehistoric.
Looks so sick.
So it's a pretty good direct in terms of again, we're not going to great lengths to preserve these classic titles, but names are being thrown at me that I'm not aware of. Even something like Resident Evil 2 Huber, I was like, I don't think that's getting remade. He seemed too good to be true. So Brad, I know you love Chrono Trigger. I don't know your thoughts on Chrono Cross.
I like Chrono Cross.
Is the Chrono community just losing it right now, or was this inevitable, or?
I mean, I'm surprised it happened. I think people are excited. A lot of people like Chrono Cross, but obviously more people are where's Chrono Trigger on everything?
Yeah, I don't think that game has really been re-released. Was it? It
No,
might have been on.
I don't think so. I think
was
it
it
you
ever
could
on
buy
the
it-
PlayStation?
I think you can buy it on PS3.
downloads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
okay.
that was the last time.
That was
you
the
could
only
buy it.
time you could get it, other than the original disc.
Yeah.
To me, it's one step closer to anything Chrono Trigger related. Anytime things like this happen, franchise is alive. It has a pulse.
Yeah.
So, if you're disappointed, because you want Chrono Trigger so bad, this is good for that.
Remastering Crash Bandicoot, are you? Wonder what you're going to do next.
Exactly. It's a great example, Jones.
Let's see.
Great example.
Yeah, the way Chrono Cross looks is a little weird, but it seems like there's some
Switch between the
there's
two.
some different versions
Yeah.
that you can make it look a little bit more like the original rather than, because I don't know, it just feels like somebody took Photoshop and just kind of smeared the pixels.
Yeah. I think the faces will look better, though, on the characters.
Yeah, character models look sharper. I just think
Yeah.
the backgrounds especially look kind of
Yeah.
weird.
That's like the Final Fantasy
games.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah,
9 looks, like,
where
blurry.
the background's
Doesn't look
weird.
as good.
There's a mod that fixes
Yeah.
that. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks
Yes.
better. But
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Cool. Cool.
Crazy.
Unexpected?
No.
Probably
Not entirely unexpected, no.
Not that it exists, but this week, kicking
Oh,
off 2022,
I think Monolith Soft, they've had a couple irons in the fire. We've just been waiting to see which one
what
they
it's
pull
gonna
out
be.
first. So yeah, I think it's crazy how they make games that are this big this fast. These games are gigantic. And
yeah.
2 and Torna, and then the re-release of the first game with its expansion, like there's not that much time in between them. I just don't get it.
They had all those come out before Breath of the Wild 2. They've done all that between 1 and 2. All that. It's crazy.
That is.
But yeah, I think it's a feel-good announcement. I like the Xenoblade games. I don't remember all the story for everything like that, so I wasn't freaking out about what's happening. But I was like, sick, cool.
Yeah, somehow
Another
it merges the stories of the
RPG.
other two together.
Oh, neat. Do we have like a ton of details? It's just more just kind of like, haha, here's the announcing, and then more details
There's a
later.
full-on
Or-
It's
trailer.
September. Yeah, full trailer. Like,
Yeah,
But is there a lot you
trailer had
can-
a lot to glean.
If
for
you're
people
like-
to
if you're a
really pick
diehard
out.
fan,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
could
People were
probably get a lot
picking
from it.
like
Yeah.
already. We watched it, and
Yeah,
during the
Damiani
stream.
and
Yeah,
Ben were like
Damiani
freaking
was
salivating.
Frame
Yeah.
by framing it.
Yeah.
Isla, you are into the Fire Emblem houses world. How much were you able to glean from the Three Hopes trailer, the second Muso in the Fire Emblem franchise?
Well, it was a reminder that hope is always a mistake.
Three Hopes, 3 mistakes. Fire Emblem houses, 3 mistakes.
The first like couple of seconds, I was like, "Oh yeah," and then Warriors came on the screen, and I was like, "Ah, yeah, okay," which is like, it's just not my bag, but like
Could be.
whatever. Like if you're into those,
This
it's
is the
awesome.
year.
It's Ben's bag.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna find.
No shade, no shade.
Maybe it is. But yeah, that's June 24th. You know, what's my bag was that sports game we got on the Wii back in the day.
Yeah. Oh,
Wii Sports?
And then we got like Wii U Resort, which was neat. You know what I loved
Well,
most
Wii
about
Sports
Resort?
was when they had the Motion Plus.
What I
Yeah.
dug about Resort was it Pilot Wings on 3DS? There was some game on 3DS that was like the same
Yeah, the island.
place.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like
Woohoo Island.
Well, yeah, so it was
Woohoo
like, okay,
Island.
it was neat that they've actually open world style, that they actually have like a map that I can
Yeah.
see in multiple games. This is cool. I miss Pilot Wings. And then Switch comes, and I was like, oh, okay, we're going to get, I guess it's 1-2 Switch. I guess that's the Wii Sports of the Switch.
Right. Which it didn't really land. Yeah.
Right.
So
We
is
were
this gonna
joking.
is this gonna sell like 30 million copies?
Nintendo
or-
Switch Sports?
So well.
I can't tell if it might be a dud. Does anybody care? I don't know.
I think it could be big.
I think it'll be.
I
Pretty
think with
big.
100 million units out there,
Yeah.
if
It'll be big.
1 in 5 people buy it, like that's how crazy this is getting with Switch. Is like 1 out of every 5 people buy a certain game, and that's 20 million units. Like
Why'd they wait 6 years to make this, or however
for
many?
100 million people to own
Yeah.
Switches.
I don't know why they waited.
I don't know why.
I would think, yeah, with those Joy-Cons having motion control, they would have done that sooner. I mean, but
And
they,
they got,
had
like,
they had Ring Fit Adventure.
Yeah.
And,
Oh,
you know,
right,
and that
yeah.
has really, sort of taken the place of
Which
like,
is for sure going to get a sequel,
Ring
right?
Fit.
Or some big DLC
Maybe.
dump.
Who knows?
in the
It's
future.
Who
Nintendo.
knows?
Yeah.
But the funny thing, and I mentioned this in the reactions, but the funny thing was just the timing for me because I got the Switch OLED last fall, and I was thinking about like I should give my old Switch to somebody, but I didn't know who. And I thought about like giving it to my brother, but then I was like, he's not really been that into games lately. And then when I was there for Christmas, he was like, I think we want to get like a Wii and get Wii Sports and stuff. Something that's like a little more like active motion or whatever. And I'm like, I don't think it's like a good idea to try to dig up a Wii and all. Like it'd be a kind of a pain in the butt. You're probably gonna pay premium for a used system and all of that. But it's like I've got my Switch. I'll send you the Switch, and I found this silly little game called Go Vacation, which has like a bunch of sports like
Sure.
jet skiing and skydiving and
Somebody
all
else
that
had
kind
to
of thing.
fill
And
the
so
gap,
I
yeah.
grabbed a copy of that from Game Dude, and boxed that. He's supposed to get that tomorrow.
Nice.
And then this week, there it is. Switch Sports is coming out in a couple months. So there you go. Didn't have to get a Wii to play that. So
I just wonder what their expectations are for Switch Sports. If they're like, okay, well, we'll do it, but it better earn a lot, or if they're just like, whatever, we know Pokemon's gonna crush it. We know.
the weird thing to
Zelda
me is that
2's
they're
gonna crush
putting
it, so who
golf
cares?
out later as a DLC. Like,
Yeah, there's like only 6 or something sports
Yeah.
in
Like
there at
Splatoon
once.
3 is gonna sell more than this, right?
probably.
This? Probably.
But it's hard to say.
The golf thing is like you get an extra news cycle from it. Your game comes out, you launch, and then
No,
a couple
yeah.
months later, you're
I-
like, hey.
I understand
Golf.
the idea behind
Yeah.
it, but it's just kind of weird.
I feel like they're building this to be the next like live service thing. I don't know. You can like bolt on sports.
We'll get to something
this.
later like that.
Yeah. Possibly.
And it's coming hot and heavy. That'll be the end of April. Beta test is this month on the 18th.
A beta test.
I'm just glad bowling is back.
Yeah, bowling's the
Bowling
best.
is the
Yeah, dude.
best.
Bowling's cool.
Bowling is the best.
Well, they had like a multiplayer thing on the bowling too that looked really fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it's the elimination, right? Bowling
Yeah,
99.
Bowling Royale.
Basically,
Yeah.
Bowling Royale, yeah.
And there's Disney Speedstorm.
Jones game.
Jones game. What do you think, Jonesy?
It's pretty cool, you know. It's like
These
popular Disney characters racing
Yeah.
together. Imagine that, you know.
Imagine that.
Yeah, it's pretty
Couldn't
neat.
you do that in
Mulan
Infinity?
and Mickey right next to each other on a racetrack racing.
Free to play.
Pretty crazy, you know.
So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you did that in
Infinity.
Disney Infinity.
Hard to remember. It's been a while. Was there racing? I don't know. Was there a whole pack of just racing?
Somebody said one of the
Yeah.
allies was like, "Oh, they look like Disney Infinity
They
characters."
just
yeah,
look like Disney Infinity models.
yeah,
Just
Jones.
recycling them.
Who did the Sonic Unlimited Racing? What was like the really good Sonic racing game?
Oh, I
What
don't
was the
All-Stars?
team that
Sonic?
did that?
I
Yeah.
don't know who made it
The
exactly.
team behind that made the racing thing for Infinity, but you know.
oh,
It's only
really?
because Disney's totally treating it. They're like, finally, a Disney racing. It's like you spend 20 Disney racing games, whatever.
It's true.
Right.
It's been a lot.
Sumo.
Cross-platform play, Sumo. Yeah,
Sumo.
they brought Sumo in.
Yeah, because there was
Sumo
there
team
was
was-
N64 one too, right?
So
Yeah.
excited to be
Yeah.
working on that.
I rented it.
Then we got some ports, and you're gonna have to correct me if Klonoa Fantasy Reverie series is a port.
I don't think it's a port. I think it's like a.
It looks like a remake.
Yeah.
It looks like
I
they
think
really
it's
put some
one
effort
in there.
and two or something like that. But it looks
but-
better than the original.
We'll put that in the other one.
I know that they did some like, was it GameCube or Wii? They had Klonoa they brought back.
I don't know.
Oh, and Strikers, right?
Yeah, we're jumping around.
I'm jumping around.
Well, that was a new announcement though, but that is a new Strikers.
Yeah,
brand
brand
new.
new.
That is
Yep,
a new
yep, yep.
Strikers game.
Yeah.
Correct.
Armored.
Thank you. We did.
Yeah, a
Armored
lot of
edition.
you know
When was the last
curiosity
one?
on like how I think Wii.
I think.
Yeah,
I don't think
'cause
there's a
they
Wii
had Strikers
one.
on the GameCube.
So it's
and
been
they
a
had
minute.
Strikers charged.
It's been a minute.
Okay,
We need the baseball
Great.
one though. What was it? Sluggers?
Mario Strikers Battle League.
I forget the name
Yeah.
of baseball one. Sound like Mario Baseball?
Maybe it is just
I
Mario
forget.
baseball.
I
Yeah.
totally forget.
Damn.
I still haven't seen whether like it's confirmed that Next Level is doing it, but I can't imagine that it wouldn't be.
Hard for me to gauge like what one Mario sports game does, what one Nintendo sports game does that then leads to what the next sports game is going to do.
The last
just-
few have really let me down.
Yeah.
Mario Tennis, Mario Golf. I am very cautious about Mario Strikers. I'm not gonna get excited.
I just think that
Would you
because it's
previously? Is that
a different
Yeah,
developer.
the
that I don't,
originals.
Mario
yeah.
Soccer's
We
big
played it. Yeah.
Loved it. Yeah.
I just don't. I don't put that comparison there since they're a different developer. Like I can see it with Camelot being a smaller team and all that, but like
Did they do tennis too? Camelot?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
they've always done tennis and golf.
Didn't they do Gold Sun? Just have them do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Mario Strikers Battle League is listed on Next Level's
Oh, cool! It wasn't
Wikipedia,
yesterday.
but it's not on their
Oh, on the
actual
Wikipedia.
website. So
Got it.
I don't know.
Fan assumption.
Yeah.
But you know, they also did Luigi's Mansion. a couple years
Yeah.
ago, and that was fantastic.
That was a
Right.
good game.
And since they came up with the original, like I have high.
It
high
looks
hopes.
cool.
Yeah.
Looks really fun. I love the armor stuff you can put on,
Yeah,
and all their
yeah.
specials look really sweet.
Really cool trailer. Really good energy.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I just hope it's on bare bones.
Yeah. Hope there's some sweet unlocks.
Yeah, like a campaign and multiplayer and online and like normal basic functions
There's
that
8
usually come with
There's
a
an
$60
8-player
video
mode,
game.
which is sick. Though.
Yeah.
Well, it's like we get like an MLB or something like every year, and it has all
There's
these modes.
so much
and we
content
get
in
like a
those
Strikers
games.
once
Yeah.
every 8 years, and it has none of it.
Yeah,
They're
it-
just
yeah.
like when
Yeah.
does it happen?
Yeah.
When do we get to enjoy
Yep,
those
yep.
things?
Yep.
Ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Be nice.
last one was 2007.
Yeah.
Charged on the
Yeah.
Wii. Yeah.
Like this long and it'll be full price. Like you better have a good big package here, like full on campaign, multiplayer, all of it. Please.
I do enjoy Strikers though, because it's like the most pissed these characters get. I
Yeah.
don't think Mario gets more pissed than Strikers Mario.
Yeah, like slide tackling
He's
each other.
really,
Yeah.
really,
Yeah, I
really
think there
upset.
may have even like there may have even been like some controversy about like how far they went with it the first time around.
Yeah.
Controversy. Too violent.
But Klonoa, is that setting up something? Was there been any Klonoa hype I missed
setting
recently, or
up
is that
something?
like
I don't know if it's
did
setting
that
up something.
old dev make fun moves, or like what?
I don't
where's
know
Klonoa
the
coming from?
history, but it's a series that people love. It's like
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a huge series.
It'll be
compared
on
to a lot of things,
PlayStation,
but
Xbox, and PC.
People
as well.
really like Ben really likes Klonoa and stuff. So
Yeah, I played it as a kid. My memory is foggy though.
this direct is just like, hey, you remember these games you liked from a long time
Right.
It's
ago?
for the old people.
Yeah, and it's like, yes, we're old people, so yes.
Hopefully, it's not a podcast episode for old people.
It is.
But
They all are.
these are the ports, because that Earthbound 1 and 2 is coming that Switch there.
That's cool.
wait for
I didn't
Mother.
even like know about the NES one.
Mother
That's
3,
cool.
let's go.
I think that's the kind of thing that should not
On the
be missed
road.
from this direct Bloodworth. You think
Mother
that's
3.
a good?
Yep,
Would
on
you
the road.
tell almost every single person who owns a Switch that Earthbound 1 might be a game that they will enjoy? You think that's a very particular game?
Oh, I
or
would
do you
go
think that has
for
mass
I would go
appeal?
for 2, but it was just a Super Nintendo game.
Go
but-
straight to 2?
Yeah, I mean Earthbound, because that's the way I ended up doing. Is I played the Super Nintendo game first, and then I went back to beginnings. It's just any NES RPG that you play, like it's gonna be a little bit like
Rough.
It's gonna be a little rough. It's gonna be like a
Historical.
little rough. It's not. Yeah,
Historical.
it doesn't have
Historical.
quite as much humor going on with it. But it's pretty cool to see like the origins and just the wackiness is still there, but more in terms of like locations and enemies and that kind of thing.
So Mother 3 at E3 or TGS?
I don't think it has any bearing on
Blood
what we're
when
gonna get
they
it.
add Game Boy Advance games to their
Maybe,
online. There
but-
you go. Boom.
But yeah, also worth noting that if you play either one of these games, but particularly Earthbound is use the guide. Nintendo
Yes.
actually
Yes.
has it up
Use the guide.
on the
Very-
website. There's a lot of obscure
Chrono
like
Cross.
items and things like that. That's like, what does this do? You know, so.
Yep.
Blood Earth, do you think if more people play this, there will be a better chance for Mother 3 coming out?
Probably not so much.
Just sign-ups for
It's,
the
it's,
service.
it's
Go through
whatever
the
luck
roof.
of the draw that like whoever behind
Yeah.
the scenes at Nintendo
I'm just thinking of
is
like
keeping this from happening. Like I don't know.
Miyamoto.
It's like the whim.
I'm just thinking of the Onimusha remasters. You know, the first one came out and it just tanked. It bombed. Nobody played it. Nobody talked about it. That was it. No more.
We played it.
Yeah. No more Onimusha remasters. And I feel like that is directly because just nobody was interested. And I feel like if all of a sudden
No.
Earthbound
Here's
blows
where it's gonna
up,
work out. They're gonna add Game Boy Advance to the Switch Online, $50 more a month.
Yep.
But for the year package, you get the additional Animal Crossing DLC.
Yep.
They just think they'd be seasonal.
Yep.
They just dig
Yep.
up the archives.
Yep.
And then every time they add a new console,
I just really feel that if it were going to be like in the near future, they would have rolled it all out at once.
yeah, this isn't like a little test the waters here with these classics.
I don't think so. They've tested these like when
Yeah.
Earthbound Beginnings came out on
That's
the NES.
true.
You know, like that's when we thought like, oh, then maybe they're gonna do 3 as well. I know.
Because did they release Earthbound on the Wii U shop or the Wii shop or
Virtual
Earthbound
console?
was on Virtual Console.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
And then Earthbound Beginnings, I think, was the Wii U Virtual Console.
got it. Okay, so they've been testing the waters.
So like every
Go
like
again.
7
Earthbound
years,
was also on
get
the
shot.
SNES Classic.
Yes, it was.
Got it.
Isla,
Hi.
you played. Oh, nice. Did I catch you eating something?
Yeah, I went and got some jelly beans.
Nice. Well, while you chomping those jelly beans, tell me how you think the frame rate is going to perform in No Man's Sky on the Switch.
Oh boy. It looked graphically simplified, so perhaps it'll be stable in the frame rate, but my guess is not great.
It seems like it's stable on the ground, but not so much when you're flying around.
Yeah. But I mean, even the base game definitely like it hitches when you're loading in, or like you can see the seams when it's transitioning from like space to planet or whatever.
Yeah.
Game is still really cool though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's a very fun developer. I think the developers really come around, and certainly what they've
Yeah.
done to No Man's Sky. That just couldn't have been the most fun employees at that company, the people who were just trying to make this thing chug on Switch.
It's
but,
a surprisingly like the file size now is bigger with all the stuff they've added, but the file size was like pretty small. The install size, it was like, I don't know if it was like a gig or something when the game first came out. Now I think it's like 7 or 10, but still it's like not a massive game for how much stuff is in it. So it seems like they've got it really well optimized, or pretty well optimized.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows? It could be all right.
Portal 1 and 2, I think, will run okay.
They should.
Especially that first Portal. That's
should,
a
yeah.
good game to have on the Switch there.
Yeah.
Love
I
Portal.
mean, yeah, that came out on the 360, so
So
absolutely should be fine.
It's gonna be okay.
Should be.
Tell it to Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2.
Actually, Portal 2 was also 360 PS3. I remember because they had that whole weird thing with the.
Orange box. 5 games, 1 box.
Remember
One
they
of
did
the
the
best
PS3 could play with the PC, and
I
it was
do.
like mind blowing
I
back
do
then.
remember that, yeah.
And then
Half-Life 2
PSN went
episode
down.
2, baby.
Yeah.
The GOAT.
Really good. Nothing hit me like Portal though, man. Portal, I was shaking for weeks.
Portal.
Like, God, that game was good. Oh, that was a lot of quality in a very short amount of time. Woo! How many games have done that up to that point? Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is getting 48 remastered courses. That's an update.
That's an update.
That's just a game update coming to you from the direct from Nintendo.
That's don't expect Mario Kart 9 for a while.
For your
love
8-year-old
DLC
game.
for 8-year-old games. It's sick.
Do you think they plan to announce previously like 24 remastered courses and then just kind of like wait, no? And then they were like, okay, 36, and they were like, wait. Like, do you think this number just kept going up?
I don't know.
They kept daring each other.
I can't help but think that,
Why not go to 50, 48?
that at this point,
crazy number.
like
8 at a time.
they're building these things to lay the groundwork for like when Mario Kart 9 just has everything.
Infinite.
Yeah, the ultimate.
Yeah,
Mario Kart
because
Ultimate.
the jump from 8 to 9 won't be that big. You know what this is like? They're remaking freaking Game Boy tracks and DS tracks and just like all over the map.
Choco Mountain.
But it's just crazy.
Yeah, why package it into Mario Kart 9 when we can make you buy it now and then buy it again for $60?
Exactly.
When Mario
The
Kart 9
Nintendo
comes out.
way. For sure.
Didn't think about it that hard, but that's brilliant.
Pay up.
But it was just one of those things where you know that they had closed the book on that game. They're like, all right, we put all the DLC onto a Switch cartridge, we shipped it. Now now all the Switch owners will buy Mario Kart 8, and we're done. And then 2 years went on, 3 years went on, 4 years went on, and it's just like it's still selling. Guys, we got to do something. Like, if people keep buying this.
I don't
game.
know. I've seen DLC come and try to save a game before. I've seen DLC like this come along just as a lark. I don't know.
I've never seen DLC come out like 5 years after a game was released. The remaster
It's
of the
very
game.
rare.
And the game, like at least the deluxe version, never had any DLC to begin with.
Right.
Dying Light 1 is like the only thing
It
I
was
can
supposed
think
to be
of,
the
like,
complete
really
package.
late
And that's
DLC.
it. I saw somebody, the Discord, someone might have been our chat or Twitter Huber somewhere. I saw we were talking about, it's Mario Kart 8. We always see it in the sales. And then somebody brought up like Grand Theft Auto. They were like, well, GTA 5 technically is bigger. And it's like, you understand? Rockstar works on GTA Online every single day of that company's existence. They didn't do anything for 4 years. Nothing. Like they just shipped it. They just literally put them in plastic cases. Like they did nothing
But
else.
I mean, that's the genius of this, right? Like,
I'm
why,
surprised they're doing these.
Why cannibalize the sales of 8 with 9? Like, you could make all the money of a top 20 seller with doing nothing.
I hate it. I hate that reality. It's
But
like
it's true.
It's true and it's obvious and it's of course, but
Do
it's
you
just
think-
like as
what
a
if-
consumer, it's like so annoying because like I've moved on from that game. It's still like new maps, new, but
Yes.
it's like it's still Mario Kart 8. Like you're still going to be racing around those tracks and it's going to feel the same.
But I think that's kind of the strength of it, though, right? Because, aside from a quote-unquote new gimmick, which the reports say that Mario Kart 9 does have whenever it shows up, really, what do you want from Mario Kart? You want more tracks.
Of course.
So it's kind of just like,
all
okay,
you're
you've already
wanting.
got the game.
Yep.
Give us a little bit more. Or if you have the expansion pack, you don't even have to give them any more. Then, here you go. You've doubled probably the track count. I don't know how many
That's actually
tracks
what
are
I
in
wanted
there.
to talk
Yeah.
about. That's actually I brought that up on the stream because Nintendo is crushing it in the console war, if you will. But the one avenue where I think they could improve is subscriptions. Game Pass, killing it, flaunting that. To put these maps for Mario Kart 8 on the subscription service, that is a next level move. That is going to drive sales. Like, I cannot wait to see how many more Nintendo subs there will be now because of just this one thing. And this, to me, is a sign of the future for Nintendo.
I mean, that's why they called it Expansion Pass.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, do you think that Nintendo has obviously tongue in cheek, but like, do you think they finished Mario Kart 9 like 2 years ago and they're just waiting for some metric in sales to like, well, all right, when it hits NPDs in like the 50s, we'll put it out. And like Breath of the Wild 2, like when that stops being in the top 30, we'll put out the sequel. Like, what if they just?
It's
what if they're that
amorphous.
crazy?
Like Mario Kart 9 is like it's meta.
I think
it's not a game.
I think that's for their next system. Maybe they're just gonna wait.
Yeah.
If that was a launch game, holy jeez.
Yeah.
If there's one thing they're waiting on more than Mario Kart 9, it's their next system.
Yeah.
There's no rush.
We're only halfway through the life
no
cycle
rush.
of the Switch, apparently.
Yeah,
you
but
what.
that doesn't mean a system can't come out during it, though.
Yeah, I suppose.
There's also no rush in me beating Metroid Dread, but I might be able to because there's a Jones mode. Oh, sorry, it's called Rookie mode that they're adding to Metroid Dread.
There you go.
Also, a one-hit kill mode for Brad to go back through.
No,
I
no.
don't want to do that.
Not a single person in
I don't
this
really wanna
company
do
is
that.
interested in
No,
playing
not
Dread
Damiani.
mode.
Damiani's
even
finally.
Damiani?
Damiani's finally I can enjoy myself in this campaign.
Even Evil Within Akumo mode, I'm like,
I know.
I'm not into. No thanks.
Speaking of mode, Salmon Run's coming to Splatoon 3 this summer. Any other modes they specifically detailed? I just saw that.
They just
They
showed a little.
they just focused on
Yeah.
that mode this time around.
That music was so stressful.
Right.
Yeah, it made me anxious, Isla.
I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those things where if I remember right, like every day they would like offer up different awards for going in. They kind of treated it like, being like a blue collar worker, like going into the mines. Like,
That's funny.
if you go in, you put on your coveralls. All right, we're gonna do the salmon run today. Gonna get paid.
Damn, dude.
Didn't see a ton of Advance 4's 1 and 2 reboot camp, but we know it's April.
What do you think of that title, Jones?
It's too much. You're trying
Too
too hard.
much?
Yeah, you're trying.
I think
You know what it
I
is?
think it's
Title of
good.
the year,
It's
man.
fun. It's the
Reboot camp.
but it's the 1+2. So if it was like Advance Wars reboot camp, I'd be like, cool. I know
The
the
1+2 you're right.
1+2 is in
Cross
it.
the 1.2.
But you do the 1+2 or reboot. But it's like 1+2, so I'm already kind of stumbling
You're
a little
right.
bit.
Okay.
Then it's not boot camp. It's reboot. Like, oh, there's a lot. There is.
All right.
There's a plus sign and then like a dash and then like there's a lot. It's it's a good password. Advanced Wars 1+2 RE Boot Camp is officially my bank password. But nothing I have seen has been memed from this direct like Kirby eating that car, man.
Oh,
oh
yeah.
my god.
Kirby in the Forgotten Land will have mouthful
Disturbing.
mode
Mouthful
where
mode is
he
upsetting,
cannot
dude.
eat a thing. But just kind of baby it.
Yeah.
He'll like Milo at 1.5, kind of gum it. Like he doesn't ingest.
This was my favorite trailer for sure. Live Alive is like my most anticipated, but to me this was the best trailer
Cool.
because I was like pretty excited for Kirby, but after watching this trailer, like this is a day one must play. Make room for this. Like,
Cool.
I am anticipating this now.
Some people, when I was hanging out on Mike and Mike, and some people in chat were like, Kirby? And I'm like,
Yeah,
I've
it was
never.
a good trailer.
The only two Kirby games I've ever played were the NES Classic and the SNES Classic, just whatever Kirby games on there.
Oh, sure.
I was like, neat. Yeah, it's just a franchise I totally missed out on.
Yeah, Superstar is great.
Triple Deluxe.
What I think is really
Dreamland.
cool with this is, aside from mouthful mode, they showed this ability to upgrade different powers.
Yeah, like the town or whatever, right?
The
Well,
town,
there's the town too.
Oh shit! I
Yeah.
should have said that.
Oh my god, I forgot about the town, dude. Day one, Kirby. Day one. Let's go. What was it called? It was like DD Town
It's Waddle Dee Town, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Bloodworth. I got too excited, man.
But you could take your fire power, your cutter power, whatever, and like I don't know what you used to upgrade them, but you upgrade them and then they get more range or they get completely different effects to them.
Cool.
It looks like a really nice way to take those traditional powers that are like in every Kirby game and do something new with them.
I hope, because Brett, I still see people putting up like Japanese tweets of them throwing the boomerang in Breath of the Wild, and it flies across the map and takes Zelda to San Francisco or something. It's like, what? Like, they're still discovering some things that
Crazy
they can
physics,
do.
yeah.
I'd love to see that for Kirby. I'd love to see 2 years from now
too.
people really tearing open Forgotten Land and like, whoa!
I don't think it'll be that crazy.
No.
but
Alright.
that would be sweet.
It would be
And
sweet.
like it's not like top tier of Switch graphics, but it looks really
It
nice.
has a nice art style.
Which
Looks good.
Kirby tends to be on the lighter side of things. So it tends to be a little simpler.
Yeah.
So it's good for Kirby to
Yeah.
like have a good looking game as well. Yeah.
Comfy and cozy looking.
3D Kirby game.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Oh, we haven't had a real 3D Kirby game.
Oh yeah, I guess
so-
N64 wasn't.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
true, yeah.
N64 game was 3D in like terms of technically.
Yeah,
But like
but
the way you
not
moved
movement,
around,
yeah.
not as much. There's a couple of times when you would like go in kind of like a circle or whatever. It's more of a
Kirby's
linear path.
Big time. Time to shine, Kirby. Yeah. Do you think Sakurai pushed for it? He loves Kirby.
Maybe, yeah. This will easily be the most sold
Kirby
game
ever,
of all time.
I was gonna ask that, but it's so
Easily.
it's so easy.
So easy.
You know, yeah.
could be.
So easy.
Switch.
Yeah, it's
They always
Switch
sell
effect.
consistently. They come
More
out
than
with some every
the
couple years.
4-player one though. That was kind of fan
Triple
yeah,
Deluxe?
yeah, that was filler. No. It was like the fighting game one, multiplayer one.
Oh,
That came out of like nowhere. Everyone was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think you may be thinking, was it All Stars? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Because there was a Kirby game earlier on the Switch for sure. There was a little bit more traditional side scroller.
It's gonna beat it.
Oh, don't remember.
It's gonna beat it. Yeah,
it's gonna beat it. We don't
it's gonna
remember.
shatter it. It's draft your tweets.
My favorite Kirby moment is the reveal of Super Smash Brothers for Wii U when they did or it might have been the Wii one where they did the big, for Brawl, the big wash. Wow, they look so much better, you know. And all the characters looked at them and said, wow, I'm the best looking Mario ever. And like Kirby's like the same. And, like we just watched over and Kirby's like, okay. You know, like, it's such a quick edit. It's like half a second joke. I love that so much. Good luck, Kirby. I want it to work out for Kirby because I want those fans to get a win. Everyone's getting wins on the Switch. Can be a little scary being a fan sometimes. Back in the day when Telltale was still developing games, a lot of people played that Wolf Among Us video game.
Hell yeah.
And we're like, oh yeah, look at all these Walking Dead sequels. We're going to get 10 of these Wolf Among Us. Wolf Among Us is based on fables, based on a comic. The story's already been written.
Yep.
They're just going to bang these things out.
So many of those.
And then they made a bunch of other weird games and then closed. And then now Telltale's back, and this week we got a first look. PlayStation posted a blog. Jeff Keighley did an interview. And it is going to be launching in 2023, and we got a first glance
He did
at
an interview
it.
inside of the game, Jones.
He did.
They were sitting at a virtual bar.
Keighley in the, like Sesame Street, like Blue's Clues, you know? Keighley in the bar.
What's funny is right
The
in front
bar's
of
in front of
Keighley
him, you
was
know,
this
the
like
restaurant's
gross
right- I know.
ashtray with like the
I know.
cigarette butts right there.
Yeah. Like, I want a Keighley. I want final moments of Horizon Forbidden West. I want Keighley in the brush, interviewing them. You know? And, like, the robots are going behind him, and the grass is just kind of swaying in front of Keighley. So, it has been 8 years since the original game.
My God.
They also talked about The Expanse just a little bit, but they focused mostly on
Drummer.
Yo.
And then,
Yo, can that be like is that place? Does that take place after the show? Because that'd be sick.
I don't know.
That'd be like such a good way to fill the void.
So the same year
Omar
as
was
Mario
telling
Kart 8.
me that drummer is like an amalgamation of like 4 people from the book, so who knows?
Nice.
they've had different lifelines that Wolf Among Us compared to Mario Kart 8. Wolf Among Us 2 takes place 6 months later in the winter of 1980, according to Darren Gladstone, the head of player engagement at Telltale. Darren, you got a tough road ahead of you. Before we get into like any specific details, I got a quote from them, which is very much in line with our issues with the company. Wolf Among Us 1? Anyone like attached? Anyone been really missing?
I'm
I
extremely
never
attached.
actually put it in. I think
I
I
have-
do have
I've-
a list somewhere. Yeah.
I have all the Fables comics, and I love Wolf Among
Oh,
Us.
nice.
Yeah.
They did a good job, didn't they?
Yes.
They really kind of effortlessly just like nailed it, you know? And that was I was the nerd that when Once Upon a Time came out, I was like, they already did this. And
Once
everyone's
Upon a
like,
Time
I'm
was
enjoying
good.
the show. What? And I'm like,
It was
all
fun.
right. But
That's a great example of a show that went on too long.
But
Oh my God. Oh my God, Jones. Yeah.
But scary, where those expectations are at. Would you be, if you were on the team over there in Telltale, would you tell them like, we can do this, we can recapture people's imaginations, we can pick up where we left off, or is this like impossible?
There's nothing to lose here, is the way I'm looking at it. Like this is like a free attempt in a way as a consumer. I feel like where this series was canceled, this studio shut down.
Yeah.
Like this is a free roll in poker terms. Like this is a free roll for me. If it's good, what a win, and if it's bad, it's like I've already been through this. Like.
But then they announced another. Okay, we goofed up Wolf Among Us 2, but then the next one we're gonna do, that one we're not gonna do right. Is it like no,
That'd be
man,
weird.
this was your
Yeah,
shot.
This
you know?
is the shot. Yeah.
So I'm nervous.
Yeah. I think I don't see it being bad though. Like you went through Batman's, I know, and those were so great. The Walking Dead is great. It ended pretty well.
Yeah.
Wolf Among Us 1 is so excellent. So it just depends on, the time, the budget, who's working on this exactly.
I think
Like,
that's
is
one
it
of the things,
Telltale, or
Because Telltale as a company is reborn, but like
yeah,
who is
who is
still
working
there,
on
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
I don't really know all the details.
Just love being Bruce Wayne looking at somebody, and I'm like, I'm answering nothing, and I just stare at them, and then they say another thing, and like, I say nothing. They're just like, they're starting to get all nervous. Like, yeah, I've never been able to do that in a Batman game before. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's exciting, and it's such a fun world. And what they kind of touched on today, which is for anyone out there who's like, I am a big Wolf Among Us fan, or I was interested in that, and like, oh yeah, that is based on a comic. Like, get in that thing, man. It's so awesome. It's so
Fables, they got all
fun
the
and
graphic
adult,
novels.
but not in a dumb try-hard way. It's just really funny and like
really easy to
adult
collect.
in a good adult way, gory in good gory ways.
Yeah.
But
I feel like I got a bad roll on this one because I was playing it on I think my PS3 and my save got corrupted.
Yep.
And I was like halfway. I know, dude.
Yeah.
Like I was like halfway through the game, and then I just never played it again. I was really enjoying it, and my save got destroyed, and I was like, well.
Have they announced a remaster or a port for this one? Because that is always nice.
Of course, for all of their games.
Yeah.
For like again, just a
The
Walking
Telltale
Dead cover, just
collection.
literally the Telltale Walking Dead collection, literally
Yeah.
the entire thing, every Walking Dead game we ever made, retooled, Unreal Engine, we cleaned it up,
It'd
we
be
fixed
so
it, it works.
smart because then you can get the Mass Effect Legendary Edition style where you can just easily transfer all your choices throughout, play it in one go.
Yeah.
Like that'd be smart.
Maybe like a chronological mode where there's no credits. You just roll right into the next thing. You just literally play one huge
That'd be
Walking Dead
cool.
game. But yeah, I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
Isla Hank, on numerous occasions on the Easy Allies podcast, has had criticisms over the business model over at Telltale Games.
Yes.
There. Tell me how you feel about Darren Gladstone's quote here, Isla. This seems written for you.
Oh no.
Half our team consists of former Telltale staffers, and we've done a lot in the 2 years since we announced the rebirth of Telltale. We've been working behind the scenes not to just rebuild, but to rethink how to run a studio. How do you make it sustainable? What can we do to make the job smoother? Hint. It includes plotting out whole seasons from the jump and using a new engine, Unreal, among other things.
Yeah,
That's
their engine was
great.
terrible before.
Step one, listen to Isla.
Yes. Plan
Yeah,
it out.
dude. I mean, like, it was so clear. I mean, like, obviously, outside perspective, but the engine was problem numero uno.
Oh yeah.
And I think that if I
Aging.
understand correctly, it was kind of the boss guy who was like precious about the engine or something and like wouldn't let them change it. I've heard weird things. I
'Cause
don't,
they had,
I don't
like,
want to tell tales out of school, but yeah.
Yeah, they had like 7 irons in the fire at once, Isla.
Well,
so
that too, yeah.
So it was like, how are you going to change the engine if you're mid-season
Right.
on like 7 different?
How does one? Yeah. And because I remember when I went up there for Batman, they had the podcast series for season 1. And I
Right.
went up there with Greg Miller and Laura Bailey, and we were walking through, and they hadn't announced Guardians yet, but I like saw like Drax, and people were like, what? I'm like, but it was clearly like, whoa, they're doing one thing and they're doing something else, and that's the Guardians crew, and I don't even know what's happening. You know, it was like definitely disorganized. There was a lot of
Way
like
too
doors that were
many.
closed, or we're moving them over here. It was
The
like,
other part of that quote that gives me hope is like that they have a plan for the whole thing. Like
Right.
if you're doing a trilogy or whatever in a franchise, especially a beloved franchise, have a plan going in.
Yeah.
But PlayStation really trumpeted this in a big way. Do you think that PlayStation just loves a good brand, or do you think they're like particularly interested in or invested in Telltale's success? Or?
I didn't really feel like they'd done anything particularly special. I do think that they'll grab things like this and they're like, hey, let's put this on the blog. Mm-hmm. You know, and they did some indie stuff, which we'll get to a little bit later.
It seemed as much of a we're Telltale as much as it was this is Wolf Among Us Part 2. You know, it was like they're like, okay, we know the name, but who you know, the head of player engagement. You know, not the director, not the writer, not someone from the cast. You know, like the one responsible for telling them they're the same Telltale but not that. That's Darren Gladstone. Good luck, Darren. Just seems kind of like an uphill battle. And,
Do we know if it's going to be episodic or are they going to go True Color style and shoot this all at once?
I think it'll be episodic, planning on whole seasons from the jump.
Got it.
So I think
Okay.
I think it maybe sounds like it'll have like not only is it coming out this summer, but maybe like the whole thing will have a
Hopefully,
date, so
when
it's
they
not
release
just like a month
the
and a half,
first one,
we'll
they
see.
have an actual
Right.
schedule. Yeah.
There should be an entire schedule for the entire season straight away.
Right.
You know, let's avoid a Life is Strange 2 situation.
right.
Because you don't want to invest too hard. You know what I mean? You want something to be successful, but you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch. You know. You don't want to. I gotta think of a good term for this. You don't want to Google Stadia the situation. You know what I mean?
Nice.
where you get like
Very
a
nice.
little too excited beforehand,
A little too big for your britches.
and then maybe time passes.
I love that we've been doing this for so long. I'm like, oh, this is Jones's segue voice.
Yep.
He's doing a segue.
Yep.
Switch to my camera, damn it. Now for the segue. Like I want Stadia to fail, or I think Stadia is going to fail, but then I realized, like I did this week when reports came out that Stadia was becoming something else. Stadia's becoming Stream, apparently, Google Stream. But Google's going to be very like, huh, what? What's Stadia? Oh, you mean Google Stream? Oh,
Yeah.
Did we call it Stadia? I guess we did. And it's like, you called us all to San Francisco. You came out on stage with everybody. You brought Jacksepticeye out, and you brought a person out that played Assassin's Creed on 4 different things. Like
went
you made
all
such
in.
a huge deal about
Yeah.
Didn't
this.
they literally say that they're not going to cancel like they're not going to give up on
Right.
Stadia? They
Right.
literally said that.
They're still trying to stay by that, the people that are actually in charge of Stadia, but
It's been a long
the
week.
people above them are probably not going to keep that promise.
We'll get through all
But
of
it
it.
was funny because, like, I think, I'm trying to remember too, I think GDC, they had, like, some pretentious, like, museum with, like, a bunch of, like, old consoles and, like, and now the future will be revealed this week. And it would, ended up being a Stadia announcement.
I think
Remember when Cyberpunk was supposed to run well on Stadia?
does.
Oh, well, it does.
It does.
It actually did for a
It
while.
did.
Cyberpunk 2077 is one of Stadia's biggest success stories.
So mind-blowing, dude.
The crushing failure of Cyberpunk 2077's launch was not enough to save Stadia. Like it was the best. It was the best way to play the game, and diehard, heartbroken Cyberpunk fans were like, "No, I'll wait. I'll play my PS4 version instead of playing it on Stadia." But I think that's one of the other reasons why that big announcement cracked me up, because I was like, wait, you're Google. Like, you're so good at the tech. We know you're good at the tech. We know it's probably going to work, and it's exciting. And that, just like everything else that you're doing, is going to be way more important to our lives several years from now. And you're going to tell us you were there at the start. But you do this with everything. You cancel, like, Drive or Docs or whatever. Like, some tech happens and goes away. So, of course, Stadia's going to go away.
They don't cancel either one of those things.
So now, right,
need
or
'em.
it just becomes something else. So, according to Business Insider and The
Hangouts.
Verge,
They killed Hangouts.
They
yeah.
killed Hangouts.
They've killed Hangouts like 4 times. It's so confusing. And then Allo, and oh my god.
I liked it when Amazon's Luna got announced. They were just like, "Oh, we're doing a streaming platform," and that was it. That was the announcement. They were like, they learned from Stadia. They were like, "We're not doing a show. We're not going to tell you how important streaming is. We're just going to make a thing and see if you buy it." According to Business Insider and The Verge, Stadia has been quote unquote demoted.
Demoted.
Stadia boss Phil Harrison,
Demoted.
who I always associate with the greatest successes in games, now reports to the VP of Subscription Services instead of directly to Google's hardware boss, Rick Osterloh.
Demoted.
You're going to report to this guy now.
Yikes.
Somebody recently found a game on Peloton bikes that is powered by something called Google Stream
What the hell?
that Google hasn't said anything about. So, like, they're releasing products, and people are saying, yeah, Google called me. They're like, Google called me, and they're like, we got this Stream thing. And I was like, wait, you mean Stadia? And they're like, no, Stream. Can Stream help you in your business? Because no one else will buy it. And he was like, no, I'm cool. I don't need Stream. Click. And then they're just kind of going around telling Business Insider and other reporters, they're like, it looks like Stadia's done. I don't know.
Yeah.
One person estimated that, quote, only 20% of the focus, end quote, at Stadia is currently on gaming. They're like, Stadia's not like a gaming thing.
Oh, yeah, it's dead.
You know, like, talked about mostly games at that first presentation. There are plenty of, quote, there are plenty of people internally who would love to keep it going, so they're working really hard to make sure it doesn't die, but they're not the ones writing the checks. Stadia shot back. They tweeted. They saw these reports. And this is what cracks, before I read this is what cracks me up. Because them going around with the stream and everything, it's like they don't care. They're just like, whatever, we're Google, we change tech, it doesn't matter. Then they tweet this, and I don't know what to think. Maybe they do care. If you hear one thing, hear this. The Stadia team is working really hard on a great future for Stadia and cloud gaming. We hope you agree, and we know the proof is in the playing. We're particularly proud to be offering 50 games to Pro members in February, with more than 100 titles to join Stadia in 2022, and plenty of free play days. You know, free Stadia free play days. We talk about that all the time on the podcast. You brought that up last week. Stadia free play days. We all know what that is. For everyone to enjoy. There's also more feature goodness coming to Stadia too. Stuff we can't talk about just yet.
Stadia.
But we promise to share when we can. It's to Stadia as well, yeah.
Got it.
More feature goodness, like that search bar. Ooh,
Wow, search
Oh,
bar.
those
gosh.
features. They're
Yeah,
coming.
once they finally got enough games on the service to necessitate a search bar.
Ooh, damn.
Love
that
the
was
blood
good.
shots. Blood shots are the best.
If I walked into a room at Easy Allies and started a sentence with, if you hear one thing, hear this.
I would stop and look.
Yeah, but like, what?
Yeah, Jones. I would be like,
Doesn't matter about, I'm eating a chocolate popsicle. And then I walked out. And you'd be like, what?
yeah.
Why did Jones just flip out like that?
Like, that is a sentence to command the room.
So funny.
My God.
So they're making a change. Why don't they announce the change, Bloodworth? Why don't they just say it's stream now and we're going to do another thing?
Because it's separate things, right? So the technology that powers Stadia, is what they're trying to sell the companies now, right? They're trying to make use of this, and then that's the better play. It just straight is. It's
Of course.
You've got a technology, it works, in the right ideal conditions when you've got the good internet. Like, it's amazing, and you just pick up the controller and start playing the game. You don't have to download anything, you don't have to patch anything, and it's cool. But their business model didn't make any sense. They should have done something that was closer to like the GeForce Now, to where they could okay, you own this game, now we're gonna let you play that on Stadia, and so then and then your save file will transfer back and forth. I mean, we'll play local when you have local available, and when you don't, you can play it on Stadia. No, they wanted to sell games that people had bought already a year or two ago at full price, and then do the subscription thing on the side. And nobody understood the subscription thing.
Yeah, that was a mess.
And they basically announced that they were going to become a big-time game publisher without any games. They had no games. And then they killed their studios before anyone had to show anything.
But they got Jade Raymond. You know what I mean? Like, there was enough. Like, they talked a good enough game.
Why would you just?
Phil Harrison is one of the. Phil Harrison was the first. Look at the 6-axis. Look at the controller we're gonna put on the PlayStation 3. Like, this is someone who's been on stage. Granted, that was a dumb controller, but they still somebody I associate with these big tech
the
moments.
Stadia controller's fine.
So the
boomerang,
PS3, the 6-axis.
The boomerang.
Sure.
Remember him with Lair? Look at this.
Got it.
First time he'd ever played Lair in his life. Oh, look at this. I can't. That's Phil. That is Phil Harrison. Like the bald guy playing Lair forever.
Who was GTA Tattoo?
That was a soccer fan. 99. What is that? Was who owned us?
I
Peter.
can see his face.
Moore.
Peter
Peter
Moore.
Peter Moore.
Used to be Sega, yeah.
Love that.
But again, he didn't know what he was doing at the time. He was GTA Tattoo guy forever.
Yeah.
But it's just like they. What does
So
this tweet
insane.
mean? Like, why are they seem like bitter? They seem angry. Like
But
they
it's
can't.
it was
they
right
can't
there in the
con-
report. The
they-
people at Stadia believe in Stadia. They're trying to make Stadia work.
So they're
but
tweeting?
Google's like, we're done. Come on. We're going to move on.
But this tweet isn't Google moving on. Who made this tweet?
Stadia people.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. It's
Yeah.
this internal conflict.
The
It's been
Stadia
going
team's
on
working
for
really hard.
Well
on it,
over
yeah.
a year now.
Yeah. They want that recognition, and Google's just not going to give it to them. So we should feel. Do we collectively feel sorry for the Stadia people, quote unquote, on the Easy Allies podcast?
I mean,
Ah,
if they're
the
working
people
hard
at
on it,
Stadia,
yeah,
sure, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're working
just-
on impossible odds now.
Yeah.
I just want them to. It'd just be a bummer if Google Stream got a lot of headway and then was a lot of success, and then but they were still like, no, Stadia's still there, and it's just like, I just want. I don't know.
In a perfect world,
I want them to be honest about what they're doing, I guess. I guess it's just strange that they didn't follow this tweet being like, yeah, we got Google Stream and it's awesome. They were like, what are you talking about? And
Yeah.
it's like the thing. All right.
I feel like in a
They're
perfect
so
world,
weirdly secretive and it's just failed for them again and again and they're still doing it.
Yeah. I just feel like some people will never be into PC gaming. Like they'll never get a PC. They're just averse to it. So I feel like in a perfect world, Google Stream, Google Stadia will just be a flat monthly subscription and you can stream high-end games through that. That's it. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that. You give them $15-20 a month like Netflix or whatever, and now you can stream. You don't own them. That's the trade-off, but now you can stream Cyberpunk on there.
That's what Game Pass is gonna
Yeah,
evolving into.
Exactly.
You can play these games on
Exactly.
anything.
So I just don't know
So
why
that's odd,
I
yeah.
don't know why Stadia just won't or stream or whatever the hell. Like just do that.
It's
Yeah.
it's like a weird of course I feel bad for the people working on this who got like left in the lurch or whatever, but at the same time it's kind of like we all made this like we all saw this coming from the second we heard this announced. Like we knew Google was going to bail on it. We knew it was too soon for this kind of a thing. Like that's the crazy thing is we're going this way. This was just too early, and it's going to be the big kids who make it happen, your Microsofts, your Googles, Facebook, Meta, whatever. But like everyone's just trying it too early and trying it in dumb ways, except for Game Pass, which feels like they're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
Because they're making it scalable. They're starting it in the way that we do things right now, which is subscribe to a thing and download games one at a time. Oh, but also there's xCloud and it's included in the higher tier. And like, 5-6 years from now, we'll just be doing that. But like, I don't know. It's just... It's like a fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, Like, you get in bed with a Google on a experimental project, and 5 years down the line, you're out of a job because they've buried your department in the desert in Utah, like, and never talked about you again and renamed it Stream. It's just that's how they do it. I don't know.
Just picture like some prospector in Utah. I found hangouts. There's hangouts in them hills. I know it.
And now, a word from our sponsors. Kick off 2022 with a better checking account with no monthly fees. Chime is an award-winning app and debit card, has no overdraft fees, foreign transaction fees, monthly fees, or service fees. With over 60,000 fee-free in-network ATMs at many locations like most Walgreens, 7-Eleven, CVS, you can gain access to your money when you need it, where you need it. You can also send money to anyone, even if they aren't on Chime. Fee-free for you and no cash-out fees for them. Make your first good decision of the new year and join over 10 million people using Chime. Sign up takes only 2 minutes and doesn't affect your credit score. Get started at chime.com/allies. That's chime.com/allies. Banking services provided by and debit card issued by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank, N.A. Members FDIC. Get fee-free transactions at any MoneyPass ATM in a 7-Eleven location and at any Allpoint or Visa Plus Alliance ATM. Otherwise, out-of-network ATM withdrawal fees may apply. Sometimes pay-alone instant transfers can be delayed. The recipient must be a valid debit card or be a Chime member to claim funds. Whether it's saving more and spending less, getting organized, or losing weight, there's a lot of worthwhile goals to set for yourself this year. At the top of your list should be learning a new language with Babbel, the language learning app that has sold more than 10 million subscriptions. Shout out to conjugations. You get real cocky when you start learning a language, and you're like, oh, look at these terms, all these nouns everywhere. You take a word I know, you assign it to the other word, bam, I've made the connection, time to move on. I'm learning Espanol, and boy, oh boy, it depends on where you're at, who you're talking to, when it happened, when it's going to happen. There's all sorts of different ways, and it just helps just do it again and again and again. And Babbel makes it a lot of fun. There's a lot of, there are games within these apps. Not only is learning a new language fun and engaging new hobby, you can use it while you check off traveling more from your list. The whole Babbel process is addictively fun, fast, and easy. Babbel teaches bite-sized language lessons for real-world use. Born and raised in Southern California. Been to Mexico many times, so obviously that is a language I would just love to nail. Babbel's 15-minute lessons make it the perfect way to learn a new language on the go. Other language learning apps use AI for their lessons plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 100 language experts, who I like to imagine in a giant room with like wigs, like all yelling at each other. Their teaching method has been scientifically proven to be effective. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Espanol, French, Italian, and German. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you to improve your pronunciation and accent. There are so many ways to learn with Babbel. In addition to lessons, you can access podcasts, games, video stories, even live classes. Plus, it comes with a 20-day money-back guarantee. Start your new language learning journey today with Babbel. Don't know if I'm at the live classes level yet. Live classes, a little scary.
Yeah.
Put a little more work in. Maybe I can report back on those. Right now, when you purchase a 3-month Babbel subscription, you get an additional 3 months for free. That's 6 months for the price of 3. Just go to Babbel.com and use promo code ALLIES. That's BABBEL.com. Code ALLIES. Babbel. Language for life. And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. Sony does a thing where they tell you in the morning, we got some updates coming. What are you doing today? Sit right there. Don't move.
Oh.
We got Sony indie updates coming. And And thankfully, Blood posted all of those in Slack. What do you think about this like indie news rollout? Because I think this is the solution for the indie montage in a state of play that we all forget about later.
I think it's all right. I think even with this, it feels like when you first see the original blog post, it's like, oh, okay, there's gonna be some really cool stuff, and then it's like, okay, well that's cool, and that's just sort of like a whatever check-in, and so it's very mixed feeling to me. So yeah, this latest batch today, like I didn't really dig through all of it. It was like there's one thing there, it's like and there's another thing, it's like, okay, and there's another thing. Like, I'll have to read this before I know what I even think about it because it's just out of left field.
There's not a lot going on there. Not, you can obviously dig into all of these things, but it's like your inbox. They just give you a different.
It is like my.
They
inbox.
just turn your Twitter into your inbox. You know, you're just like, it's like I'm going to tell you about 7 random games. You're like, my inbox tells me about 500 random games every day. And I have ranked the significance to the best of my ability. Let me know if I've done this correctly. Kicking it off with a little-known game called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Nice.
Master Splinter's coming to this game. Casey Jones is for sure coming to this game. They just haven't announced him yet. But Master Splinter. I like not Splinter. Master Splinter. Nice.
Show the respect.
I think with that they announced that it's actually coming to PlayStation. I think before it was only like PC and Switch. And now it's coming to PlayStation, Xbox as well.
Excellent. Yeah, it's just a
Feel good.
It's just a feel good.
Feel good.
I can't. Brad, I'm working real hard to think of a reason that I might not like that game. They're always just short. There's always that beat 'em up sadness when you get credits and you're like, oh, I could have done that for 8 hours. But
sweetness to it though.
Yeah. It's like a good plate. If you go to a fancy restaurant, not a lot of portions on the plate. When you're done,
Not to hype up the competition, but IGN has a fan fest coming up on the 19th, and it's
that's that one that is.
It's gonna be there.
Got it.
So I expect a release date to be revealed then.
Oh, okay.
It's one of my most anticipated of 2022.
It's just
No
gonna
question.
It's just gonna be a bowl of mac and cheese. It's just just
damn good.
Good to the last bite. Moss Book 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Polyarch detailed some more stuff coming to that game. First game one broke. I don't necessarily need them to make a lot of big things, but compared to the other stuff. Samurai Gun 2 is also exciting. They announced more stuff too, but Moss Book 2 hasn't come out. And they
Samurai Gun 2 is not out?
It's
Not
early
exactly.
access on PC.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
For how long is that?
Oh, they always take forever to put these out. Samurai Gun was supposed to come out on PS4 and like never did.
Oh.
I don't know.
But Among Us, Minute, and Spelunky 2 characters are coming to Samurai Gun 2.
Oh, Minute. That's funny.
Yeah.
Spunky, that's great.
Just if you're 2D, get them in
Come
here.
on in.
That can't be that tough.
I'm not sure if it was coming to PS5 or not. I'm not sure if we knew that before. Maybe we did.
You imagine like Marvel sending Fortnite a character model and them just like, okay, trying to make it work. You know, Street Fighter didn't work. Marvel mostly worked. Imagine like sending the Minute guy to the Samurai Gun team. We got him. What are they gonna touch? I'll add a pixel or two. You know, it's like, how much is he really gonna change? But Moss, I'm excited because the first game is great, but also because they're like, I wasn't sure if they were going to do a PSVR 2, and boy, are they doing that in a big way. It's got its own website, and so hoping that does well for them.
Blowout for that, Jones?
Hoping that is like their big, because Moss was good, but you can finish it in a long night. I think it was like 7, 8 hours, 6, 7, 8 hours.
And is Book 2 supposed to like connect to the original game in a way?
I mean, Moss 1 ended and was like, we'll see you in Book 2. I mean, it was very much like that is nowhere near the end of the story later. And so I was like, oh, cool, Sony's investing. Kind of like a Dreams way. It's like, oh, they got that Polyphony Digital contract where they're just going to be with Sony until the end of human existence. And they're just, cool, I guess we're going to keep making Mosses.
Yeah, I feel like Moss was a really good early example of eventually what we saw again with like Astrobot, where you could do like this 3D platformer where you're not necessarily like the protagonist. Like you're a camera and you still move the character around like you would in a traditional game, but still feel like you're part of that world in a way.
Yep.
I really think they did a good job of like pushing that forward, and there was also the Lucky's Tale that was early
Super
Oculus
Lucky's Tale,
game.
yeah. That's like not.
They tried that, and they didn't quite nail it. I think Moss is probably one of the first ones to like hit that sweet spot and feels like a really good game to play.
Hello Neighbor 2 is a game that none of us have ever really been. It's a franchise none of us ever checked in on, but it's huge. I mean, it's just like.
I feel like I've been hearing about this game for a long time.
Yeah,
So that's why I put that franchise up there. They talked about things the sequel is doing, but it was just remember playing a demo for it back in the day, and it just did not seem, as much as I love stealth.
It
just
feels
was not
like a Friday Nights at Freddy's where like the only humans playing this game are streamers. Am I wrong?
Sure.
Like Hello Neighbor 2?
No,
it just
I mean, I
seems
think
like
there's a
such
lot of younger people that
streamer.
play
Yeah,
it.
I think
probably
it's
younger
big with
crowd.
Definitely, yeah.
Kids, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I see toys in like Walmart and stuff like.
It just seems like
Yeah.
such a big streamer thing.
But I think it's similar to that. So where there's sort of like a jump scare element. And you're getting chased.
Oh,
and,
yeah, sure.
I played it for like
Content.
20 minutes. The first one, yeah.
Salt and Sacrifice,
Mm-hmm.
which should be cool. And Salt and Sanctuary looked really interesting back in the day, but is this hype? Hype
I
from
really
Control Room?
loved. I really liked Salt and Sanctuary a lot. I think I probably played the most of it.
Yeah. I didn't.
Um,
I thought it was okay, the first one. I
Yeah.
didn't really want to finish it when I was
I
playing
liked
it.
the quick weapons; they were fun, and the areas were neat. I don't know, I liked it, and the devs were really nice.
Yeah. Sequel be probably a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I just wonder if a franchise like this is trying to like maybe one day be an Axiom Verge or something. I wonder like what's the Salt franchise really competing with? What's the
dedicated
church
following.
with
the first
with
one's
the
sick.
big
That's blasphemous.
the big
Yeah.
hat? What's the big
That's
scythe with the hat?
Blasphemous.
Blasphemous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, anything. I don't know. It coming along. I hope this seems like a franchise they want to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes developers just don't stick to a franchise. They come out with something different for their next
Like
title.
this is
but
getting a
it's
sequel
here
over
we go.
Death's Gambit. Very similar games.
True.
This game got like a big update though recently. I'm pretty sure.
That's right. There's like an edition, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something edition or whatever.
Post Void.
Yeah, this is the one I want to learn more about. I'm not.
The
quite
rules are
sure
simple,
what's going on.
Bloodworth.
Yeah.
With a pistol in one hand and an idol containing your health in the other, you have just one objective: be fast. You must move constantly and keep your idol filled by racking up your kill count. If you slow down for even a minute, it's game over. No lives, no retries. Everyone is different thanks to procedurally generated levels. So reach the oasis at the end of each level and retrieve a well-earned random upgrade. You're truly going to have to, get good. And it's interesting. It's like
So
kind
is
of.
it multiplayer or is it just survival?
I think it's just survival. Kind of like looks like you're in Hotline Miami.
Okay.
It's kind of like Doom. It's like if you went
I'm
inside of
already
Hotline Miami and it looked like
exhausted.
Doom. Yeah.
This game's probably so hard.
Not a good time to bring this game
My
up with you.
goodness. Yeah.
And
No,
looks-
it just reminds me of like, I don't know, my mind immediately is going to Curse of the Dead Gods, which is one of my favorite games of 2021. But it's also one of those games where I was like, I'll never beat this. You
Yeah, I
know?
was also thinking.
just these like roguelites
I
where
was
it's
also thinking like
sometimes
Phantom
so
Abyss.
random.
It kind of puts in my head a little bit. I don't know why, but
But the
maybe
what
Like
was
Hotline
the-
Miami, I never finished. It was just so
Right.
hard, and it's like,
it was like Sins of the Father, or there's one like some shooter I played recently. I brought the Frame Trap.
Right.
Forgive Me, Father.
Forgive
I
Me,
think.
Father,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
like again, it was very like Lovecraft and weird, but it was a first-person shooter, and so it was like I just dig this resurgence of this genre, and this just looks kind of nutty, but
This is visual madness. This
It is.
Post Void.
and a little more visually interesting than Animal Well, which is their last game that I put in the bottom of the list.
oh right,
Which
yeah,
is a
this
fun
one.
little puzzle game. You got little animal dudes, and
This looks creepy.
it does look weird. Yeah.
This game looks creepy.
It's dark. It's lonely. You don't belong in this world. That's how the blog post starts.
Oh, this looks fun.
You're more creeped out by this one than by Post Void.
Well, I didn't watch the video for Post Void, so I don't know.
Post Void, like
It's creepy,
it's like a visual sensitivity warning as a game.
right?
Oh, is it like really flash?
Oh my god, yeah.
So if you got into one of these 7, you're like, "We had a good day. This was nice. Thanks." Like even though you might have looked into it and been like, "Oh, they didn't really actually announce that
Right.
much today," but
That's
it's
a
like,
good variety of stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it makes more sense in a video. Like people would be like bummed if this was a state of play.
Maybe.
They'd be like, "What the
Oh,
hell? What are these
yeah,
weird
people would
7
be
games?" You know?
Yeah.
Or if like their
intolerable.
old
Yeah.
strategy, they were like, "Okay, we got a Horizon, we got a Gran Turismo update. Let's do a Gran Turismo state of play, but we'll tack these 7 on at the end." I like this. No, today's gonna be a fun indie day. You know, like today's will be. There's nothing else happening today.
Yeah.
You know, from Sony, this is our news. We don't have to go to E3. Enjoy it while you get it.
I think it's effective.
Yeah, and I think this is all Shuhei's wheelhouse now.
Oh, okay.
This is, I think I saw like a tweet earlier today that was it just said thank you, and I'm like, for what? And it's like, oh, I think it's for the indie stuff this morning.
When I came into this office before this podcast, I walked into the streaming room and found Brad Ellis on a back couch, Michael Huber sitting next to Michael Damiani, and Michael Damiani was playing Resident Evil 4. Did you know that up until this week, there was a lawsuit surrounding
art, right?
Resident Evil 4. Do you remember this?
Was it the art?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 1 for 1. It was like they took the art from someone and used it.
Oh.
Well, that's the thing about the law, Huber.
Yeah.
1-to-1 is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
Do you remember this? Isla, you remember this?
Yes.
This is weird.
Yes,
Was
I
it for
do.
Resident Evil 4?
Resident Evil 4 and
Yeah.
Devil May Cry and
Because
other
Village
things.
had the
He's still streaming. it, by the
Village
way.
had the machine head
Nice.
Artist.
Yeah, that I
person.
remember. I don't
They
remember
thought a
some
boss
of
was
the
This
taking
was-
it.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
was-
This is the
They
art.
took textures that a person put in a photography book and
Correct.
put them in the
Photography
game
book,
for
that was
Yes.
Yeah.
Her name is Judy Jurasek. She filed a complaint in Connecticut court last Friday. She mentioned this. She went to the news with it. That was like, whoa, they stole at least 80 photographs that I took and put in this book that was published in 1996 called Surfaces. That book comes with a CD-ROM. In the book, I say, if you want to use this for anything, you just have to license it. You have to pay me for what you're doing. Capcom just went nuts with the CD-ROM. They had a grand old time. They were over there developing those video games, and they just ripped all of these images. Again, I'm not in this courtroom. I'm not, her lawyer. But man, you read what they released of their reports, and it's like, I don't know what you're gonna do about this, Capcom. This is pretty. The most damning one is like the 4, the Resident Evil 4 has a crack of glass in it that Judy Jurasek photographed. It's like, period.
Damn.
Like, you look at the image, you see her being like, look. It's like, oh, okay, that 4 that I grew to love, that brought me so much joy. Was stealing money from this woman, and she didn't know it until so many years later. In fact, I don't know if you remember, in November of 2020, Capcom had that security breach,
Right.
and this came out of it.
That's right. I totally remember this.
One of the little bits of information, maybe a little damning, I think kind of works in Judy's case a little bit, was during that leak, one of the images used in Resident Evil 4 had the exact same file name as the file on her CD-ROM.
Smoking gun.
Some would
Wow.
say. Some would say.
Yeah.
Back in the day, Jurasek's lawyer, Jonathan A. Winter, was feeling good. He said, quote, "We put together a very detailed complaint, which we think speaks for itself. Other than that, we have no further comment." We have talked about this previously on the podcast. I bring it up now, at the very end,
Yeah.
because they threw it out.
Whoa.
Gone.
What?
As of Capcom and Judy. Just gone. Yep, done. No case. Bye.
Did they settle out?
No.
of
Settle
done.
out of court?
Done. Why, you have questions? You want to know what happened?
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Done. Bye. Thanks for reading.
What?
Yep.
What was the reasoning?
Capcom
was
and
the
Judy
statement?
Jurasek have amicably resolved their dispute concerning the alleged use of M's
out of court.
alleged use.
Yeah, that's money. That's
they
money.
paid
That's
her.
yeah,
Yeah,
they paid
they
her.
just paid her.
100% they paid her.
They just paid her for
One-
what?
Yeah.
In Capcom's games, a dismissal was filed on February 7th, 2022 with the District of Connecticut to end the lawsuit. Done. All right, moving on.
I think she was paid.
Well,
Yeah, she was
obviously,
paid.
but not paid like to keep you quiet, paid because we
Yeah.
should have paid you.
Right.
Yeah.
But neither Judy nor Capcom is going to talk about it anymore, I guess.
That's weird.
NDA.
I think that's
to
all she
hell,
wanted.
probably.
What?
Yeah,
I know,
that's
but-
all she wanted.
She just wanted them to pay her for using her stuff.
Yeah.
There was some dude that was stressed out, had all this stuff, and like, I gotta get this done quick. And his boss had no idea.
And it's right before the internet.
Right.
So you have
Screaming at
a
'em.
physical CD-ROM, and you are
Right.
in Japan. You're
Right.
like,
Yeah.
what? I'm miles away from this. It was like there was just, and no one found this until
And two,
24
like,
years
I mean,
later.
like I don't, like mere speculation, but depending on like what role you have in the company, you might not even know that what you're doing is like not a good idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
I know so many times, over the years, people have asked me questions like, "Can we do this?" And like, I think so. Like.
She wanted a flat 12 mil just for damages, but she also wanted like 2,350 for each image, which is like $2,000 plus 80, whatever.
12
I mean, it's
million
interest, baby.
dollars.
I don't know if you know this, but Devil May Cry 1 and Resident Evil 4 sold a fair bit.
Yeah. That's
One
a
of those
lot
is
money.
VR next
That's
year.
a lot of money.
I
That's all I'm
I
gonna
was
say.
looking at her
That-
textures within my Oculus Quest 2 last year, up close.
It's a ton of money.
It's just interesting. Again, it's just like Stadia. It's just Capcom being like, whoops. Anyway, it's like, wait, no. that is one of the wildest Capcom stories I've ever heard in my life, and Capcom's just like, didn't happen. It's like it did. Oh, okay. It's a bummer because I know I'm gonna forget this even happened in 3 years
Yeah,
forever.
that's what they
And
want.
I
They want.
don't
Sweep
want
it.
to. I don't want to
Moving on.
forget this.
Sweep it. Moving on. Yep.
No.
Wild.
I'm gonna buy you Surfaces for Christmas. You're gonna go, why did Jones give me Surface? Oh right.
Services.
You go and you just be a walk down memory lane. You
I
just
need to
go
buy this
through.
book.
You just see this metal, corrugated. Oh, it's a good hallway. I remember that hallway.
Dude, Jones, I'm not even kidding. I want this book now.
We should buy the book.
Shout out Surfaces, yeah.
Somebody on the
Also, Hubert, like Resident Evil 4 on its own has sold like 11 million. That's
Sure.
like $680 million
Sure.
alone.
Sure.
So it's like $12 million. Like, yeah.
So
That seems
you
fair.
feel bad for Capcom?
No,
right
I
now.
don't feel bad for them at all. I know in my heart that like the 4 is not making Resident Evil 4 a 10 out of 10 game.
No, of course, no.
You know,
It's
there's
not
like
just
so
the 4,
much.
though. It's
Right.
Some of
but
those
it-
textures
it's
are
stuff-
pretty
stuff-
sweet, but yeah.
It's
It's the
stuff
artist, yeah.
everywhere. It's
Well,
like
yeah.
doors.
It doesn't
like
mean
this goat
either
head.
that she
Well,
got that
and what's
much
funny
money.
is
No,
in
I'm
the
sure she
remaster
did.
that you
Yeah.
were playing, this like fan remaster, it's all probably gone. You know, it's probably
Oh, yeah.
they probably replaced all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Pay
You've already
that
moved
person.
on past you,
Yeah.
Judy.
Yeah, you're old news, Judy.
Nice photographs. Would you take those in the 90s?
But also like don't steal anyone's work.
Also,
Yeah.
never do that.
So it is
And apologize if you did. That's the
yeah. That's what you really want to see. That like I didn't want money
submit
to
enough.
be I don't want money to be exchanged under the table. I want there to be like a moment of, yo, let's not steal people's work.
Right.
That's
But they just don't want to dwell on this.
yeah.
It's bad business.
Yeah.
They don't want to look bad in any way.
True that.
Sweep it.
Sweep it. Sweep the leg.
I also want to look bad in any way, but Brad, I don't have a choice.
Oh,
Also this week, the latest Assassin's Creed Valhalla expansion is apparently its own game.
Is they officially say
Because
that?
that's where this series needs to go. They need to get bigger. They need more missions. Hideki Kamiya appealed to Xbox regarding Scalebound. Quote, Phil, let's do this together by us.
wait,
go.
hold on. Back to the Assassin's Creed thing.
Yeah.
Smaller. It sounds like a smaller game though, with more of an emphasis on
Well,
stealth,
it's
right?
the
Oh
No,
no,
this
is
is
this
different.
Ragnarok?
This is Valhalla DLC.
Okay, so
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
is like
yeah.
the
Dawn of
They're
Ragnarok.
Oh,
still
yeah, never
calling
mind.
it an
Yeah,
expansion.
yeah,
Is this
yeah,
like
right,
another
just
like
one.
rumor that's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah,
but
there's
it's,
another rumor.
But it's what was the Hatham's buddy, or were you Hatham in it?
Bassam.
What was the older game? Rogue. You know, it's like kind of feels like
It's from the Rogue team.
They had the engine.
Oh,
Cool.
The Rogue team is making this. Like, so they're the leads, actually, Jones. Yeah.
Call of Duty and other big Activision Blizzard games will apparently be released on PlayStation and Switch beyond current agreements. Isn't that nice? Dark Souls on PC will be offline until the launch of Elden Ring because they're fixing a dangerous exploit there. So sorry,
I heard about that.
sorry, Dark
yeah.
Souls
Don't
on
play
PC
it.
fans.
Dark Souls 3, I believe.
Dark Souls 3.
I think just 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Blizzard announced last week. Could have done this in last week's podcast. Totally forgot. Definitely worth saying. World of Warcraft's going to do mobile something in 2022.
Whatever that means.
I've always kind of wanted to have an app where I could play some dumb game that'll help my friends that are like raiding.
In game, yeah.
You know?
Oh, sure.
That like I can go, I can like organize like our
Yeah.
just something where it's
you
like
can fire the cannons or something.
That's
yeah.
a fun
I would love
idea.
that. I'd
You
love
can
that.
mine for gold or something.
Or even like on a map, I'm
Heal
like
them
I'm
or
like a
something?
familiar and I can just move around. I
Yeah,
can
you're-
see all of you
you're a
moving and I
warlock
can
pet?
yeah, or something like.
Hey,
it'd
that
be
never
fun.
played out, but that smart glass concept with the division where like one person is like controlling
Yeah.
the drone, like that. It's cheesy and it's a gimmick,
It's-
but like if I'm watching TV on my couch and I'm just like droning for my friends, like
Remember
that's cool.
When I booted up Fable for my stream the other week,
Oh,
first thing I'm greeted with is like
smart glass. Or
better
whatever?
with smart glass,
Oh.
super old looking tablet.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Didn't Black Flag have
So
like a little
good.
town
Oh, it
building
was-
game
it
or
was
something?
great.
It was
Oh,
actually
the Black
awesome.
Flag
yeah,
actually
it
is
It
was
was
really
no
good.
ships, man. You would yeah. I always think of Santa
trade
Barbara.
routes?
I think of my
Oh,
mother and
God.
father-in-law
Yeah,
and
that was
Amanda
really fun.
going into an ice cream shop in Santa
Yep.
Barbara and being like, "Let's go to this ice cream shop," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's do that." And I'm like, sending ships out. Like,
Sending
okay, anyway.
ships.
That whole trip, anytime I
Tobacco.
went shopping somewhere, I was like, "How much ships doing?" All right.
Dude, Black Flag is great.
Black Flag is one
So
of the best,
great.
if not the best. Rockstar confirmed. I was almost going to start the headline, start the whole podcast with
yeah.
this. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Quote, active development
Yeah.
for the next entry in the GTA
Yeah.
series is well underway.
Hey, quick rant, Jones. Quick rant.
Okay.
If you're out there, if you're the person out there saying, huh, obviously, you are missing the point.
Sure.
Confirmation
Right.
is confirmation.
It is.
Full stop, period.
And we just
So
got,
it feels good that it's confirmed and it's acknowledged.
Obviously.
and now we've just got 48 tracks added as DLC to Mario Kart 8. So I don't know how obvious.
Hubert, I'm going to lock and load that obviously for when Evil Within 3 gets announced.
Oh my
Obviously.
No way, that's
No, I
not
know.
obvious.
You're right. You're right.
There's
Of
no
course.
way.
You can play the first 3 chapters. I want to do this, but I'm working on stuff. You can play the first 3 chapters of Triangle Strategy now. Transfer your save, which is sweet. They've done stuff like that before.
Yeah, Monarch apparently is doing a thing where the demo save transfers over too.
Love it. Voice of Cards. That's Triangle Strategy is probably gonna be a long game. It's a nice skill head start.
Yeah.
There. Voice of Cards: The Forsaken Maiden comes to Switch, PS4, and Steam on February 17th.
Wait, Jones, I can't stop thinking about GTA 6, man. What if it's Red Dead cross GTA style?
Just the premise.
What if it's
just
like
the premise of GTA 6 you're talking about right now?
Yeah, what if it's decades of story and you start
Right.
in America in the Old West and it's Red Dead and then you like go to like here is America, like
Ends
the
in
origins
space.
of America and then into like decades going on, roaring 20s.
Hubert, you're like describing Live Alive again.
Or what if you had a town in Cuba or their version of Cuba, and you had a place like in Florida or like
Yes.
in the south of the United States, and the whole thing about Cuba is that it didn't change that much. Like if you go to Cuba, it's kind of like you're living in the 70s a little bit. A lot of the architecture didn't change. Like Cuba got a raw deal in a lot of ways, and a lot of people in that society lament that it hasn't advanced that much. So if you did that, you start in U.S. in the 50s and Cuba in the 50s, and then you jump to now, and you're like, oh, Cuba didn't change that much. You know, it's like. Oh, some of those buildings kind of look the same, but like, wow, obviously Miami changed or whatever.
I like that.
Yeah.
It'd be cool
can
if you had
talk about
multiple
GTA 6 the
characters
whole
in
podcast, Hubert, obviously.
different countries. That would be cool.
That would be so cool. Was the last
that.
one like GTA London? Was that the last time they went out of country?
I mean, that was
GTA London? Like that was
yeah.
so
It's the only
long
time,
ago.
yeah. You needed a passport to play GTA. You gotta play Red Dead now to do.
What was London?
Strange.
Why
It
am
was
I-
like a top down. It was like the GTA
Oh,
was one of the back in the day.
style.
Got it,
Yeah,
got it.
yeah.
Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster comes to Steam and mobile on February 23rd.
What's the word on this? Is this good or bad?
Font's
Or
bad.
is it
Everything else is
gonna
great.
be-
Music's great.
It's
Pixels are good.
Most
or bad?
sequences look good.
the
Font's bad.
like you have to go into your NVIDIA settings and force VSync.
Okay.
Like it's got weird issues.
Weird issues.
no.
It's patch.
It's
Oh dear.
it's
Square
okay.
PC
Like
releases.
yeah, the music spotty. Some
Okay.
tracks I like and some
Oh no.
Or what
Cardinal
you did there.
sin.
Oh, we'll convene. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean I'm not talking about 6. I'm talking about like
The older one.
I played,
so
I played
Pixels.
4.
So you haven't.
yeah.
Oh, so 6 specifically. You know. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I
I'm
played
curious
a
to see
little
the
bit of
tracks.
4 this week.
Okay.
And a
Lot
little
it
bit of
in.
5.
And Blood, have you heard about the Gran Turismo 7 AI from Sony's AI Lab?
DeepMind?
AI lab.
No, I don't think
Sony's
I
AI Lab revealed to the science journal Nature the superhuman AI from GT7 that they claim will beat any pro.
Skynet.
Guess what it
Dude,
is
yeah.
called?
Skynet.
Guess what it is
I
called?
hope it's called Skynet.
Net Sky.
It is called GT Sophie.
What?
What?
What? You're
Not Sophie.
Sophie, Sophy.
Okay.
Still.
And that will
That's
be
so
Sophie
jolly.
will be running laps around you later this year. I can't wait. Let's play a game.
Gran Turismo 7 will be the highest selling Gran Turismo in the series history.
We're breaking records all
That
every franchise.
we'll see. That's a tall order.
That is a tall order, Bloodbirth. Tall order, that one.
From Ian Alexander, here comes Lost in Translation Taiwan version. Try to guess the correct titles of these games translated from Chinese to English with the infamously inaccurate Google Translate. They are all games currently being discussed on Taiwan's top gaming news site, Bahamut. Love and respect, Ian Alexander at Alexander_arts. The previous winners of this game, thank you, Ian Alexander. Brad won game 1. Game 2 is a 3-way tie between Blood, Brad, and Isla. Let's see who takes game 3. I'm going to give you the name, and you tell me what that translated from. The Fall of Babylon.
Babylon's Fall.
Babylon's Fall.
Oh, yeah.
That is correct, but Brad got it first.
Aw.
The Last Survivor.
Last of Us.
Ding.
Wow, nice.
Oreo's World.
Ori and
Or in the
what?
Blind
Oreos.
Forest.
Oreo's World?
Oreo's World. So,
Wario World?
Or in the Will of
World.
the Wisp.
Oh, World
Mario?
World?
just came out. Like just.
Ollie Ollie World.
There it
Ollie
is.
Ollie
Shit.
World.
Oreo.
Nice.
Okay.
Mars.
Doom.
God of War.
Oh,
Oh,
he's the God
okay.
of War.
Yeah.
All right.
Mars.
Roadster Romance 7.
Romance of the
Is that
Three
Gran Turismo
Kingdoms?
7?
Yeah. A Road to Romance.
Road to Romance. Roadster Romance 7. The
Is
Legend
what?
of
Wait, what was
Dawn.
it?
Gran
The-
Turismo
The
7.
Gran Turismo. Okay.
The Legend of Dawn.
Horizon?
Balan
Yeah.
Wonderworld.
Zero Dawn.
Horizon
Dawn.
Forbidden West.
Yeah, you would think.
Oh, Dawn of Ragnarok.
Horizon.
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West?
Arise.
of those?
Tales of Arise.
Tales of Arise.
Tales of Arise.
Kirby Star Discovery.
Kirby's Dream Land.
Kirby's
Kirby's Triple Deluxe.
Superstar.
Kirby Forgotten Wilds.
Forgotten Land.
Forgotten Land.
Kirby. What is it called? What's it called? The game.
Forgotten whatever.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
Wild.
The star really threw me off. That's weird.
The
Wow.
Magic Land. There's no way you're gonna get this. Forspoken.
Oh.
Oh.
Would have never guessed that.
Heavy Armed Forces. The Great Siberian Upheaval.
Frostpunk?
Civilization.
Front Mission.
Serious Sam Siberian Mayhem.
Oh.
Wow.
Eldon Circle.
Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring.
I never would have thought that Serious Sam would have outlived Duke Nukem. But here we are.
Here we are. Nether Journey.
Under.
Hades?
Trek to Yomi.
Oh.
Yo,
And finally,
That game looks
so good.
cool.
Yes.
Finally, Master.
Sifu. Yes.
Nice. Sure.
Dang.
Do you see what they did there?
Yeah.
It is now time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
From Kristen G. Rosario, I have some amazing news to share. For the first time in 34 years, I have lived on the planet Earth. I not only have a girlfriend, but I'm going on my first ever Valentine's Day date.
Nice.
I'm a bit nervous, but she's made my life feel better over the past 5 months, so I have a really good feeling that she is worth it. With all this Valentine's Day talk in the air, I wanted to ask, what would be one place in video games that you would want to go on a date? Maybe Breath of the Wild's Hyrule Field, the scenic landscapes that Red Dead Redemption 2 provides, the tranquil beachside on Destiny Island, or perhaps Raccoon City before the zombie showed up. Whatever the case may be, I wish you all a very happy Valentine's Day weekend.
Traverse Town.
Nice. I was going to say Golden Saucer.
Oh man,
yeah.
so good.
Oh,
That's
I mean,
the
literally,
winner.
yes.
That's the winner.
Of course.
Yeah.
Love me
Wait,
a
Red
good
Dead, do you take people
carnival
on dates
date.
in Red Dead? It's like the opera in Red Dead or whatever. Yeah.
I was gonna say the Normandy. I want my own
Citadel?
spaceship.
Sick.
Yeah, that bar in the Citadel, whatever that bar was.
Yeah.
There's like two
Sure.
bars.
Oh, Citadel.
Oh, speaking of bars, Zerky's bar. Oh, wait. That cafe in Gran Turismo 7. No. That's a good looking spot.
Cozy. Oh my God.
Oh wait,
Yep.
the cafe in Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yo, dude, you come into the cafe, might as well come to my house, all right? You know, might as well swing on by.
What?
My house is
Some
pretty
guy
cool.
brings
Say
you
my
your
house is cool
coffee
in
and
Animal
tells
Crossing.
you
If you
all
wanna-
about how a Toyota engine is built.
You wanna come to my house? From Andreas Klinthaus, with Valentine's Day approaching, I want to ask, what video game item would you bring on a first date for an attempt to impress them? I would choose Sir Francis Drake's ring from Uncharted. It's a nice conversation starter, and it'll show that I know some history and a little Latin.
Good one.
What are you bringing?
The Buster Sword.
If you
Check
showed
it
up
out.
on a date with a
Wait,
sword,
can I take that for you?
Yeah.
No.
I'd be like,
Video game item? What? What? Like, I'm thinking something from Mario. Some kind of
Fire flower.
flower or something.
oh,
Yeah.
Make it
I
spicy.
see what it's.
Okay.
Oh.
The fire flower keep you warm at night. And apologies to everybody who's like, yeah, thanks
That's
for the
a tough
Valentine's
one.
Day.
The first thing I thought
Appreciate
of
it.
was the stupid lipstick thing in Smash Brothers, the big weird flower looking thing that you hit people with and like a flower goes on your head.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why.
This is such a hard question because video games are so violent.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Video game. You know, what is it? Final Fantasy 15, Igneous.
Mm-hmm.
Ignis? Yeah.
Yo, what's the car
That
called?
dude's
Regalia.
just
Oh, yeah.
well, the car.
your
is
personal
nice too.
chef?
I
Yeah,
was
I'm
just
rolling
like-
up in the regalia.
But I'm just like, anything that man cooks.
yeah.
yeah.
You know what I'm gonna do? Right when the date starts, just Charmeleon. What's up? And he goes, "Hey."
Show up
He's
in
just sitting there, and I just like at the end, I take out a stogie, like,
show up in Captain Falcon's racer, dude. The Blue Falcon.
The Akira motorcycle.
yes. Happy gaming. I love Castlevania.
Aha.
Speaking of love, real love. There's something about going to take down Dracula in his castle and adventuring through that gothic world that scratches an itch that almost nothing else can compare to. Happy gaming, I think that was like my last line of the Castlevania retrospective. I think it was like the last paragraph. I was like, there's just something about this, man.
Something
There's
about
just something about hitting a skeleton and then you you hit the next one. There aren't really a lot of games or gaming franchises that are inspired by classic literature or books. While Castlevania doesn't specifically follow Bram Stoker's entire novel, the franchise pulls enough to make itself wholly unique while remaining recognizable, and just everything in Gothic horror, Elizabeth Bathory and all that. We've definitely seen games that are adaptations of novels or series, The Witcher, Metro 2033, Parasite Eve, to name a few. But what are some other classic or non-classic books that you'd like to see more broadly and less directly adapted to their own franchises? More recently, I can think of Lies of P. Lies of P being a broad
that's the Pinocchio
Lies of
Souls.
P being I thought you were trying to say Life of Pi. Being a broad adaptation of Pinocchio, taking ideas that are recognizable while also creatively making its own vision in the process. But I imagine there are tons of cool things that could be done with the likes of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Frankenstein, or other books as well. What do you think? Sherlock Holmes, obviously.
Frankenstein's in that first. Yeah.
With the whole Dark Pictures thing, it'd be neat to just have like a short story Edgar Allan Poe off, just all of his worst stories. And,
Yeah.
like you have to go through them and
that'd be cool.
you die at the end of all of them, but it's like you just,
Or like
Silent Hill vibes.
King in Yellow, or like there's other Lovecraft-esque stuff not even written by him, but like
Right.
that whole era of cosmic horror and stuff, it's tough to pull off, but it'd be neat to have one that's a little more measured,
And like Call of Cthulhu's not like directly based on something, but it recalls all of that, obviously. And I can't remember if there's like an Innsmouth game.
I mean, it's all just
Shadow of Innsmouth.
everything's everything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sunken City. and everything.
Like Wizard of Oz make another fun like action game, like a four character like action RPG where you're like leveling them up and trying to get them to Oz. It'd be fun. If you could just see it, you see in the distance the whole time.
There's a
you
lot
just keep
going
them
on in
running
the
out
rest
there.
of the Oz series that hasn't really
Yeah, Oz
been
gets
featured
nuts.
too much. Yeah.
Dude, make like a Cormac McCarthy, like a gritty Western based on Blood Meridian or something. That'd be nuts.
I
Most
thought you were going to
violent
say
game
The
of all
Road, and I
time.
was like, it's just The Last of Us.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking something like Peter Rabbit or Wind in the Willows.
Oh.
Dude, Peter Rabbit, you said it, man. I am well versed on Peter Rabbit. We got the books, the
Been
set,
reading a lot of that?
the
Yeah.
set, and it's really. I know this is the news. I need to bring these up on this podcast. You know who blows that world right open? Mrs. Tiggy Winkle. Because this little girl is like, where are my handkerchiefs? They all flew into the hills. She goes up in the hills to find them, and then here's this lady who lives in the mountain. Oh, hey, come in, and she's doing everybody's laundry, and there's all these callbacks. There's Peter Rabbit's coat. There's Sally Hennypenny's like pants. She said she was walking around barefoot because she's washing her gloves, and she's like, oh, I just dry the kittens one because he washes them himself because he's a cat. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she goes out at the end and she's like, wow, this gal does laundry for all the animals. How crazy. Turns around, it's just a hedgehog. What? Looks, the house isn't there. Silent Hill. What? Did I imagine it all? And it's like, wait, what? Like, is Beatrix Potter saying she's losing her mind? What's going on? Like, but they all live near each other. That whole open world. I was like, all these Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm like, where's the open world Thomas the Tank Engine game, man? Let's go. Let's do it.
Do you guys ever get into Frog and Toad?
Yes.
I love Frog and Toad. I would love like a Life is Strange style, just like cozy little like slice of life game with Frog and Toad living in their little houses, having tea. Oh my God.
Toad goes to get ice cream and it keeps melting when he's walking back to Frog, and so it just gets all over his head and the cones are like sticking out and he's like, ah, and all the animals just run in fear. So like Toad's just sitting there, like Frog's just sitting there waiting, and like they all come running past him like, run, and he's like, what are they screaming at? And it's like, oh my God, and like hides behind a rock, and it's like, wait, that's my friend. And he like jumps into the water and washes the ice cream off, and then they go get 2 ice creams and eat it. And end the story. And, like, love
Every
that story.
story is so quaint. Frog and Toad.
And I've told Brad about this, but the open world 100 Acre Wood game where you play as all the characters, you unlock them bit by bit as you go through the world. When you get Tigger, now I can bounce up to that spot. Now that Pooh's got the balloon, I can float. Writes itself.
I don't read, but Beth tells me about all the good books she does. So
That's a rule.
Yeah.
I don't read.
I watch a lot of movies
Full
and shows
stop.
and video games. There can only be time enough for
Audiobooks, baby,
2.
while you drive.
Yep, I know.
Broken Earth trilogy sounds like it'd be a really cool video game. It's like pretty depressing though, and like
damn.
really heavy, so intense, but
Well,
just
it's like
sweeping epic.
Like, everybody's buying a Wheel of Time and all that, everybody's buying up Outlander. They're buying up all these big fantasy franchises. It'd be fun if they got, some of these got games,
Yeah, dude,
almost
give
got a
me
Lord of
a-
the Rings MMO. Didn't have
Give me a Mistborn game. That'd be sick.
Bears.
Bears.
Oh, God.
Whatever it is.
They go to great pains to show you the inside of their house, how it all works out.
Cozy
Get in there.
house.
Cozy house. It is time for bets. Total War Warhammer 3 launches on PC on February 17th, the day we record the next episode of this podcast. That night,
This will be the highest selling Total War Warhammer game.
I want to know where Warhammer is going to lie on Google Trends. And Google Trends is a silly thing. I reminded the panelists beforehand that 100 is the top number Google Trends can ever be at. And depending on whether you track what it's telling you, so I'm going to look at the last 7 days worldwide when we do the podcast, and I will check out that day. And I want to know at that time, where is it going to hit from 1 to 100? Brett Ellis.
100.
Ah, nice. Feeling good. That's
55.
Gonna be we hit the rise, or we're rising up to it on the day. We'll see. Bloodworth. Oh, no. Isla.
92.
92. Bloodworth.
I said 71.
Okay.
I was looking at that daily thing, and it just seems to do this. Just up and down every day.
89 from me. Okay, we're all over the place. That's fun. Who knows? Google Trends is a silly one. Who knows? We got 2 bets to account for. First one, last week's bet, Apex Legends Defiance launched on Tuesday, February 8th.
Oh, I'm invested.
I wanted to know when we recorded now how many
Yeah.
people will be watching Apex Legends on Twitch. Because Defiance is a big deal. You got new stuff coming out, new character and everything. Damiani bet 170,000. Huber bet 185,000. Isla bet 266. Blood bet 162,500 or 162.5. I went nuts and bet 460. I did not win, but let me refresh to see
Probably
who
like
did.
50. What am I thinking, dude?
Yeah,
It's like 55,000.
We were all kind of tripping. It's
What
99.
the-
Yeah,
yeah,
it's 99
ah.
thou. Blood knows what's up.
I was invested in that one. I wanted
With
that
the
one.
lowest, 162.5. Congratulations on that win, Blood. But then we got last week's bet. Rugby 22 launched on Thursday, January 27th, but we only got the physical copy this week.
Yep.
Thank you to, I wish I had the name, I'm sorry, but shout out to the person that shared this with me on Twitter. I want to know how many balls are on the back of that box. There's a lot of contention during that episode. Fun conversation if you want to go back 2 episodes. Brad Ellis bet 2, Michael Huber bet 2, Isla Hink bet 7, Daniel Bloodworth bet 1.5, and I bet 5. There are 4 balls on the back. One guy's catching a ball. 3 of the logos have balls. One of them's close. It's ball shaped. We didn't buy it. 2 of those logos clearly have a ball in it, and one is like a bird carrying a ball. 4 balls closest to my
I
win.
see
There it is.
5. 1,
One.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, yeah, there's 4 in the logos, but then there's the one on the
And
photo.
then
Yep.
there's the one here.
There's the chicken.
And
Either
then
way,
this is
Jones
a
said 5.
circle.
Jones
Jones
wins.
got 5.
I got 5, yeah.
I just want him to win better, you know?
Yeah, that one's a little
Oh,
obscured
yeah,
by
yeah,
the
yeah,
glare.
yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's
yeah,
in there.
there's that
Yep.
little ball. Good one.
That's just a circle.
Yeah. I win on the nose, baby.
Nice.
2 points for us, bringing those scores to Massive Chubbs 2.
Splish.
Malodorous Sea Lions 1.
Oh,
I botched the 2-week late actual score on my bet, so it doesn't count. I had my podcast and I botched it. You will conclude this podcast because you actually won this bet. Before we get to all of that, though, let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. Now, in the next 5 weeks leading up to the 6th anniversary of Easy Allies, there will be a lot of fun things that we're going to be rolling out. There's a lot of discussions about stuff that we at Easy Allies had last week. We had a big meeting. We had our big 2022 meeting, and gosh darn it, it went really, really well. And we're really excited about stuff that we can do, but you have to understand the whole point of us having that meeting, the whole reason that we can look ahead at a year is because we are primarily funded through Patreon. We're so grateful to Patreon. We're so grateful to our patrons, especially our shout-out patrons. This is the very tip-top. For now, we'll see. For now, the very tip top is our shout out tier. And these 5 wonderful people are at that shout out tier. And we're going to shout them out right now. Shout out to Caleb Togi Crawford, El Fanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Nick, and Raymond Wheeler III. Shout out.
wow.
Daniel Bloodworth, you get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped into your head. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
Oh, we're doing a lot of stuff this week. I think I'm gonna go with the earliest one, since it might be the most likely to get buried. Is the Brad and Ben checked out Mina the Hollower, and that's the new game coming from Yacht Club Games, who did Shovel Knight, and it's looking and sounding pretty good so far. They played like a 40-minute demo and talked about it, so check that out. In terms of final word, I have faith in Mario Strikers. I think that'll be a good game. I think that'll be a good comeback. Yeah. So yeah, and we'll see you before the next Blood Moon Rises.
The town nude.
Advance Wars 1+2 RE Boot Camp is officially my bank password.
Well, it was a reminder that hope is always a mistake.